Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, morning, noon, or night. And welcome to the stream. Hi, guys. Just like over dramatic nonsense. Oh my god. Hi, welcome to the r/am I the asshole stream, where we shall be reading tales of humanity's woes and then judging them like the peanuts we are. But like affectionately and empathetically, of course. Mostly. Oh my god. Hi Tiger! Rest well, Mira. Hi Sue! Hi Juicy! Hi Teen! How are you guys? And welcome. Oh my god, I'm on your TV. Hello world flashbang! Oh my god. You just like start the stream, it's like, nah, I'm gonna put him on the TV. Oh Jesus Christ, that is a pasty motherfucker! Mice! And I'm just here like, I'm a free reflector, baby. I'm multi-purpose. Hi Mars VT, welcome, and thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate it. I noticed you followed like an hour ago. Welcome. Oh my god. Yes, so how have you all been? I hope you all had a lovely last couple of days so far, a lovely week / etc. Yeah, I had a pretty chill, like in terms of like just days, I've had a pretty chill day so far. Just trying to think. Oh, no, there was something interesting that happened today. Look, like I work in a corporate job, like interesting is a stretch of a term, but like there was something interesting that happened today. One of, like, I work in a research area. Don't worry, I'm not a researcher. Does this face look like I do research? Nah, bro, I'm the receptionist. But, but one of the researchers, because I get along pretty well with most people who work there, and he came down, he was like, you know, hey, AITA, you want to learn how to make an Arabic coffee? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm down. So, I, quote unquote, went to get a drink for 20 minutes so I could watch him make a really cool coffee on the stove. And we were just like hanging out and chatting in the kitchen. Yeah, but like I had my excuse ready, like, oh, I'm just getting some water without my bottle or a cup. You know, in retrospect, actually, it's probably good I didn't get busted. Oh, thank you, Mars. I appreciate it. Oh my god. Oh, you're sweet, Cupid. You're sweet. Do not be afraid. I'm just here for your snackies. I hope you're doing well, Mars. And of course, it's nice to officially meet you if I haven't already said it. But yes, because it is a chill time, we're here for the Goss, let's be honest. So let me commence the first story. Am I the asshole for calling my girlfriend a dumbass and taking away her key after she almost burned my house down? Oh my god. Hold on a sec. Hold on, I heard a suspicion. Yeah, naughty. Asta was trying to be naughty. I knew I heard a noise. Nuh-uh. Naughty little shit. Asta's my cat for reference. He's a little shit, aren't you? Yes. Yeah, don't roll over and look cute. No, you've been busted. He's trying to open all the doors and get into the cabinets. Naughty little fucker. Hi, Bull. Oh no, not the ads. Darn you, Twitch, and all of your advertisements. Alright, I'll get to the story. I got distracted by a certain someone stares at my cat. Oh my god. Alright, hi Bill, how are you? Hi Az, welcome, welcome. I appreciate that, truly. My girlfriend wanted a pizza. I have really good frozen pizzas from the local Italian market. They're made fresh, and if you do them up on a pizza stone, they come out perfect. I have made these for us many times. It's a simple process. You take the pizza stone and you put it in the oven and let the oven preheat. You put the pizza on the paddle and slide it onto the hot stone. And once it's ready, you slide the paddle under the pizza and pull it out. Put it on the carving board and cut it. Easy, right? Nope. My pizza stone was dirty. It is scorched, not dirty, so her brilliant idea was to make the pizza on my plastic cutting board. Because that way, she could just take the cutting board out with oven mitts and cut the pizza without having to use all of the tools. So I got home to see black smoke coming out of my house and my girlfriend on the phone with 911. My dog is not on his leash and he's going crazy. I go to the front door and see if it's out in the house or if I can see flames. No flames, no heat. I get to the stove and turn it off. I open the sliding doors to let out more smoke and get my leash on the way out. The firefighters are there within 5 minutes and the smoke is already dissipating. They go in to make sure. All clear. Thank God they were there less than an hour. It's covered by the city. If it was over an hour, I would have been charged for the response. My oven is fucked though, and I have a lot of smoke damage to clean up. I tell my girlfriend that I'm glad she was okay, but that she's a dumbass, and she wasn't allowed in my house alone for a while. I took her key away. We do not live together, but she has roommates and likes having a big house to herself on her days off. She says that it's a mistake anyone could make and that I'm an asshole for calling her names. Yes, she said those words. She says it's my fault for not just getting microwave pizza and having to eat fancily. Am I the asshole? No. I'm not a chef. Let me preface this. I am not a chef. I have my own history of culinary fuck-ups, to put it kindly. But even I know you don't put a plastic cutting board in the oven. What is wrong with you? Plastic melts. No shit. Bruh. Duh. I could understand if it was a wooden cutting board. It wouldn't exactly be genius, but like I could understand being under the impression that things wouldn't go to shit if you put in a wooden cutting board. It would still be a terrible decision, but it would at least be like the kind of terrible decision where you could be like, I guess someone unexperienced, I can see them making that choice. A plastic cutting board? Yes, calling names is dickish. However, she is a dumbass. And just like, I will admit, out of everything, it's the quote at the end, it's the bit at the end that gets me. Which is like, she says it's my fault for not just getting microwave pizza and having to eat fancy. Bro, you did not just try to blame this man for your inability to make fucking pizza because you put it on a plastic cutting board. Dude, if you really wanted a pizza and you did not trust yourself to make his fancy pizza, and you had a key to the house, then go buy a microwave pizza. Or heck, funnily enough, shock of the universe, if you don't care about quality that much, every pizza can be a microwave pizza. If you want a microwave pizza that bad, give up on the crunch and just shove it in the microwave and keep an eye on it. Boom, microwave pizza. And at least worst case, if you fuck up the microwave, it's cheaper to replace. Yeah, or exactly as, or better yet, just order a damn pizza. Like, come on. This was so avoidable. This was so avoidable. Oh my god. This hurts my soul. I am a terrible chef, and even I am like, oh, just my soul is crumbling at like this. Like, come on. Hi Sam. Hi Hiya. How are you guys? Welcome to bed. You're right, Az. You are 100% right. This is some 𝐄𝐕𝐓 level shit. This is on the wrong subreddit. This should be r/stories about Kevin. Dear Lord, just... It's like... Up until that last sentence of blaming OP for not getting microwave pizzas, and that's why she nearly burned the house down. Like, you are not a toddler. He is not your minder. Dude. Up until that point, my brain was like, okay, perhaps not the strongest in the logic department, but empathy. It is dickish to call someone names regardless of how frustrated and justified it feels. And to someone who doesn't know what they've done wrong specifically, it can seem like a shocking punishment. But the minute she blamed him because he didn't have noob-friendly pizzas? What? Like... What? Just... What? I cannot comprehend how her brain got to that point. And she got, like... It takes a lot of mental steps to get. This is not something you stumble into accidentally. There is a mental process that takes you from I set the house on fire to it's your fault for not getting me a microwave pizza. There are steps. You don't go from one to the other. There was a whole thought process going here. There was some mental gymnastics happening here. And how did she get to that thought? With all of the thoughts you have in your brain acting as caveats and stoppers, how did she get there, nod her head, and basically go, yeah, you should have gotten me a microwave pizza. It's your fault for eating fancy. And saying it with confidence. Humanity is a race that I have always had a complicated relationship with. In that, I love humanity, I really do. You are an incredibly fascinating species, and you are some of the most brilliant minds on the planet. And humanity is a race that feels like it excels in everything it does. And goddamn, this time around, you really are excelling in the stupidity department. Damn! I feel bad for Ruby. Hi, Shara. Hi, 𝐄𝐍𝐕𝐓𝐮𝐞𝐫. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome, welcome. Hi, Wolfie. All right, I'm going to sip my Pepsi so I can like refresh my brain. I have blue screened. God damn, just some people like just the mental gymnastics. Turns out Delulu is the Salulu sometimes. You know what, Az? That says a lot, doesn't it? Hi, Mumu. Hello, Mumu Slash. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome to the Uncanny Valley. Alrighty. It says a lot that you guys are banding together to agree you'd prefer my food. I'm so glad to know that I am not, in fact, the worst shift in the universe, and there can, in fact, be worse. Every time that you cringe at the thought of my burnt dinners, remember, at least that there's not plastic in it. Hi, Nova. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Hey, every step counts. The difference between last and second last is one of them isn't last. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my family move in because my 16-year-old son doesn't want them to? I mean, I'm biased, but I immediately want to say no because, like, there are some members of my family that I'd rather die than live with. Oh, you're right, Nova. You're here now, and that's what matters. About 5 years ago, my husband cheated on me and then abandoned our family. It was an incredibly difficult time. I was left alone to raise our son, who was just 11 at the time. None of my family members offered any help or support. We were essentially on our own. The only person who helped us was my father, who was a great support system both emotionally and financially. When my father passed away 2 years ago, he left me a significant inheritance. This money allowed me to buy a house and provide a stable and comfortable life for my son and me. And since my husband left, my son and I have become very close. We've been through a lot together and our bond is incredibly strong. I'd do anything for him. Recently, some of my extended family members have fallen on hard times and asked if they could move in with us. Given our history, I was initially hesitant. I discussed it with my son and he was very much against the idea. He remembers how nobody was there for us when we needed them most and feels strongly they shouldn't benefit from our home now. Understanding his feelings and valuing his comfort, I decided to tell my family that they couldn't move in with us. Now they're upset and accusing me of being selfish and ungrateful. They say I owe them support because we're family. I don't think I'm an asshole and honestly don't care what they think as long as my baby's happy, but I still want to hear other people's opinions. So, am I the asshole for refusing to let my family move in because my son doesn't want them to? Especially considering the way they treated us when we were the ones in need. That was a lot softer than I was expecting, I'm not gonna lie. Especially after that last clusterfuck, this was like, aww, absolutely not the asshole. And also, you don't owe them fucking shit, bruh. Like, to go full Australian, you do not owe them shit. Like, no. Yes, we don't live in a world of quid pro quo, as ideal as that would be. And it isn't fair to expect something in exchange for another. However, it also isn't fair to expect something you are not willing to give yourself. And for them to have the audacity to say that you owe them support because you're family when you were not willing to give them support when they needed it, despite being family, you can find a particularly spiky bush, sit on it, and twist. Fuck off. It is on empathy when it comes to hard times. Of course, empathy in those areas. Many of us have been through hard times at some point in our lives, and many of us will go through hard times at some point in the future as well. That is just part of the ebb and flow of life. And when we're in these low times, the people who help us truly don't know how much it means to us. However, at the end of the day, regardless of intent, relationship, whatever it is, help is still a form of gift. It is a gift. It is something that they are doing for you. And the person who goes around acting like an entitled tart, going, "You have to help me, you selfish cad, because we're family, but also fuck you when you need help." What the fuck do you expect? Like, of course they're gonna say no. If you flip them the bird and shut your door on them when they needed it, are you really surprised that they turned around and did the same? Is it the maturest thing in the world? No. But the way they handled it, I'd say, sounds really mature. They weren't a dick about it. They weren't being rude. It was just straight up. The two talked. They didn't want to do it. It wasn't fair to them. And, which is very true. And then they told him, "I'm sorry, no." And then they're the ones who went full asshole because they clearly were expecting something out of these guys and got pissed when they realized, actually, no. People have memories and remember and account for when you were shit to them. Absolutely not the arsehole. And good on them for standing up for themselves, honestly. Respect. But OP actually sounds like a really nice person, so yeah, respect. And I hope things work out for them. And welcome home, dear Ghosty. Oh my god, please rest up and stick a heat patch on your back, old man. I know, right, Ghosty? Alrighty. Am I the arsehole for selling my late wife's cake recipe to a bakery? My late wife passed 3 years ago, and our 2 kids were in their late 20s at the time. It's been a hard few years, and it's even harder now that I live alone. She had a lovely dark chocolate cherry cake. It was my favourite thing that she'd make, and I always requested it for Father's Day. I'm a shit baker, and I've tried to remake it from her notes. I know it's not very clear, and it never turns out correct. It's depressing sounding It's depressing spending so much time and it being wrong. I've asked my 2 kids to try and make it, but they've refused. I was told that they will not figure out the recipe and to stop asking. So I went to a local bakery and asked for them to figure it out. They agreed as long as I gave them the permission to sell the cake in the store. It didn't take them long to figure it out, and it was almost exactly the same to my wife's. So I bought one for Father's Day, and my kids were happy about the cake until I told them that the bakery did it. They're pissed I would sell their mother's recipe to a bakery. The whole week they've been telling me how I'm a jerk for this, and I'm wondering if I really am a jerk, because I just wanted to eat her cake again. Am I the arsehole? No. I mean, no. No, obviously not. Like, ultimately, the decision was in his hands, and he wasn't doing it for financial gain or anything of the sort. And it doesn't even seem like he sold it for money. He seems like he literally, the trade was, if you can figure out how my wife made this cake. If you can make her cake again, you can sell it. I'm sorry, but like, that's not a transaction. If anything, it's a deal. Like, yeah, exactly. The kids told him to fuck off. Like, he asked them if they could help because he couldn't figure it out. It wasn't like he didn't try. He tried. He failed to figure it out. He turned to the kids, and they literally were like, "No, we're not gonna do it." And they literally told him to stop asking. Like, well, he didn't have a choice. You shut the door on him, so he had to go somewhere else. And the deal was with the bakery, and it's understandable why the bakery would propose such a deal, because they are a business. It's a fair deal. You know, we'll put in the time and effort of figuring out the recipe for you, and in exchange, we can sell the cake. It's a good deal. It's understandable. They're a business. They need products to sell. They're not going to waste resources on some sad old gent's cake, regardless of the reason, unless they get something out of it. That's normal. And yeah, like, if anything, despite the personal gain, I think it's sweet of the bakery to even agree to it in the first place. A lot of businesses wouldn't. So the fact that the kids got all shitty that he had the audacity, quote unquote, to sell the recipe to a bakery, even though they refused to help him at all. Honestly, in the realm of irony, I think they just wanted to have their cake and eat it too. And they were upset because they didn't get to have both. They clearly expected him to waste all of his time trying to figure out a recipe that he didn't even know how to make, because he's not a baker. They wanted to reap it. Clearly they were happy about the cake until they found out where it came from. They clearly were just expecting him to figure it out himself so that they could get the cake after. That's really selfish of them. If anyone's being a selfish jerk, it's those bloody kids. Like, they're in their late 20s. Nuh-uh, like, you've grown your empathy part of your noggin at that point. Actions have consequences. And inaction does too. Thank you for the hydrate, dear Wolfie. I appreciate it. Thank you. Mwah. Nom nom nom. Oh, this next story actually ends up being a really good bookend. And speaking of consequences, am I the arsehole for telling my mum and siblings they should learn to live with the consequences of their decisions? I already want to say not the arsehole because I am a huge fan of actions having consequences and just karma and all that shit. So, my family is my dad, mum, my 2 sisters, and my 2 brothers. I, 17 male, am the eldest. My dad was estranged from his dad since he was my age. His mum died when he was 10, so we never knew Grandma either. My dad was open about the fact that Grandpa wasn't a very nice man and all kinds of stuff, but he never went into details. I know he really did a number on Dad because I still sometimes see Dad look ashamed if he spills something or makes a mistake. I also know he tries to hold back anytime he cries and looks downright disgusted with himself for crying. 3 years ago, his dad reached out, and my mum and my sister were so excited and basically welcomed him into the family. Dad said no way. He and Mum fought a lot about it. My siblings all told Dad they had a right to know our grandfather and he should love his dad. I was dragged along at first and I stopped going. Dad has refused to have any part in it, and he and Mum fought because he told her his father was never going to step foot inside our house, and if he did, then Dad would leave and he would never come back. So Mum takes my siblings to see him. Christmas was a huge fucking fight last year because they decided to spend it with this dude, and my dad refused to go, and so did I. My siblings started crying into Dad's face that they wanted Christmas with him. Mum was calling him selfish. She tried to do the whole, I'm your mother and you listen to me, and Dad told her he's my father and I could stay with him if I wanted to. They're still sour about it, but then Dad took me out for his birthday and didn't come home until late because he found out they were planning to take him out to meet with his father. My dad told my mom and my siblings, since he cannot trust them with his birthday, he will only celebrate with the people he can trust now. I also heard him tell mum this couldn't continue and they needed to divorce. Now my mum is freaking out because she doesn't want the divorce and my siblings are really upset. They told me I should help since dad and I are still close. I told them they should learn to live with the consequences of their decisions. I pointed out to mum that she was always big on us learning. I told them this is a big one. My mum told me my siblings are so young and don't deserve this. I told her it's all her fault because she undermined dad by making a point to demand he come in front of my siblings, and so they think they can manipulate him and not listen. Am I the asshole? No. Absolutely not. It sounds like this dad is like a really horrible person. And for him to have the audacity to just walk back into someone's life after so long, like, fuck that. And, no, like, to be putting it blunt, the mum crossed the dad's boundaries so many times, he basically no longer feels safe around him. That's gaslighting and guilt tripping. It's a very toxic environment. He's well within his right to ask for a divorce, or at the very least a separation, and he really should go. Hi Rita! Hi Nozomi laughing, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it, thank you, and welcome. Yeah, I changed my profile picture to my emote with the cross. I've begun the transition to 2.0. But yeah, like, no means no, and at the end of the day, the son is completely within his right to turn around and go, no, you did this to yourself. Like, if she really respected him, she would listen to him. Because, like, people have reasons for doing what they do, and, you know what, I'm quite happy for him. I hope that he, at the very least, like, he needs to separate at least for a little bit. I think they need to, like, as a certified peanut gallery, I do believe that they need to, at the very least, separate for a while. Like, he needs to move out for a little bit, couple of months, however long it takes, and they need to be separate for a bit. Because sometimes toxicity builds up because of close quarters. Excessive close quarters, plus thing that causes toxicity, tends to exacerbate it rather than shrink it. Sometimes, and the other thing as well is when people think the world is ending, they tend to really stop and think. And, if he moves out for a while, a couple of months, chances are this mum might actually, now that they'd be away from each other, she might, keyword might, actually stop, look back, hindsight 2020, think about the way, and like, the son as well is clearly on the dad's side, so he's also clearly willing to offer his perspective as well. So, like, a couple of months, like, completely separated, will, at the very least, drill into the mum's head that she went way too far. At the very least. And ultimately, like, yeah, no means no. And she wasn't honoring that. And at the end, he cracked. And for him, for her to do that on his birthday as well, like, yes, we all know birthdays are just days in the year, but birthdays are special to us. Like, anyone who celebrates birthdays knows they are special, and if someone on my birthday tried to force me to go spend time with someone I either hated or someone I was terrified of, or both, and they try to force or manipulate me into hanging out with that person or meeting up with that person, that wouldn't be okay on any day of the year, But to do it on birthday shows how little they think of him, how little they care about his opinions. Because the whole point of birthdays is it's about the birthday. It makes it worse. Because essentially it's saying, I'm going to use your birthday to do what I want, rather than I'm going to use your birthday to do what you want. And it hits harder, it makes it worse, and it's quite clear it was the birthday that really was the straw on the camel's back that cracked it. Hi Varia, how are you? Welcome. And yeah, like at the very least they need to separate for a while, and this mum really needs to stop and actually listen to him. Like, she needs to stop and listen to him when he says no regarding his dad. She needs to actually try and look at things from his perspective, because right now her head is so far up her ass, it is coming out of her mouth and spout a hell of a lot of bullshit, and she really needs to untangle herself. But yeah, not the arsehole. I hope it works out, or at the very least, I hope that dad never has to deal with his shit dad ever again. Because anyone of the opinion of, they're your parents, you should love them, regardless of what they do, has never experienced shitty parents, or has never cared enough to learn about them. Because shockingly, not every person on the planet is amazing, and shockingly, a lot of people on the planet become parents. Statistically, there's a decent amount of shitty ones out there, just statistically. So like, that can't all be great. Oh my god. Alrighty. Am I the arsehole for wearing white to a baby shower? God damn, like, this is a roller coaster tonight. We have burning down the house, we've got serious story, fashion faux pas. I am loving the insane shit that's popping up tonight, dear god. I, 29 female, have been friends with Claire, quote unquote, 28 female, since high school. We have a small group of friends that stayed close ever since. Claire is pregnant and had her baby shower yesterday. I wore a white and blue floral sundress. I didn't think anything of it because, as far as I know, white's only appropriate for bridal events. When I arrived at the shower, Claire's mood seemed to immediately sour, and she was really cold towards me. Later, one of my other friends pulled me aside and asked me to leave. She said that Claire was offended by my attention-seeking behavior and that it was inappropriate to wear white to Claire's event. I left. I'm super confused. Like I said, I thought the white rule only applied to bridal events, not baby showers. Our friends are refusing to take sides, but a couple have told me I should apologize, even though I don't think I'm wrong. Am I the asshole? No? I'm pretty sure white's only inappropriate at weddings. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong on that one. I'm since when is white inappropriate for a baby shower? What? The only way it could have been inappropriate for you to wear white at a baby shower is if in the invite it very specifically asked you not to wear white. Like, if half the point of the invite was like, hi, you've been invited to my baby shower. Dress code, do not wear white. Okay, that would be fair. Then you would be an ass for showing up in white, if you were expressly asked not to. It is the smallest potatoes, but that would be fair. But that's not the case here. This is, and like, it was a white and blue floral sundress as well, like, that's not a white dress, it's white and blue, More than one color. If anything, it's a blue flower dress with white on it. It's the background. I wouldn't call that a white dress per se. Like, huh? I'm so confused. Maybe I'm just being a man right now and not understanding the intricacies of fashion, but like, this looks like nonsense to me. Also, thank you for the follow, Flyer Moon and Crimson Robin. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys, and welcome to the Uncanny Valley. Hi, Cream Puff. I'm glad that you agree this is nonsense, because it's like, oh, I don't know if this is just my man brain, but like, this is so stupid. I'm sorry, this is just, what? I can't. This is, my brain can't handle this. What is with these smooth-brained posts? First, you've got a woman sticking a plastic cutting board in the oven and being surprised it caught fire. And now we have someone losing their shit because someone wore a white and blue floral sundress to a baby shower. Huh? Why? Why are you like this? Oh my god. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for finding me and giving me a chance. I promise in about like a week and a half, I will become hotter. Oh my god, Coasty out here like reading the disclaimer. For real though, welcome, and oh, you're a lovely flower. I appreciate the compliment, thank you. Oh my god, I'm struggling. I'm just like, damn. Like, the Goss really is hot tonight, Jesus Christ. And like, to really add context, like, I don't read these posts before stream. This is just as new to me as it is to you guys. These are not cherry-picked. This is genuine, oh my lord, instant flawed reactions. I am not seeing these coming. God. Oh, people, like, I love humanity, I really do, but god damn. This is some idiocracy shit tonight. Oh my god. The Goss is on fire, that's perfect. Oh my lord. Alright. This requires me to reload on the sips. I need my copium. That's the sound of copium. And not Beppers. Anyway, ah, thank you, Crimson. Could you imagine if you walked in and was like, alright, let's see this chuckle fuck. And I'm just here like, g'day mate, welcome to Am I the Arsehole? Tonight we're gonna read some right bangers. That's right mate, settle up, get your capper, and we're gonna sip some tea. Be like, what the fuck? Brain not braining, money not money. As you can see, I'm bilingual. I speak English and Australian. Anyway, look, anyone who's been to rural Australia can agree that they speak a different language. Oh, you're Australian, Mars? Fuck yeah! Oh yeah, mate, let's go! I don't know if it's sad or not that I have to put on the Australian accent. I have a weird accent. But like I'm organic, I swear I'm just a little bit lumpy. Hi 1312 Jasper, welcome. Just the tears of Australian. It's like, this is 0% Australian. This is 20% Australian, something you probably hear in the cities. This is 50% Australian, something you probably hear in the outer city suburbs. You can still understand it, mate, but it's a little bit crunchy, a little bit bogan, a little bit Aussie. And then you get, yeah, nah, mate, just potting down to the Boblo, getting me a cuppa, a little shit. Gotta get me a shoeing, gonna put some goon in it, gonna have a wheel of fortune. You'd be like, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand a single word that man is saying. But, like, I think it's English. Posh Aussie, I'll take that. Oh my god. Honestly, but I used to work in a vape store. I'm not a vapor, mind. I was very out of place. But like I used to work in a vape store, and as such, we would sometimes get some very Australian clientele. Like I'm talking like the kinds of ones where like it did not matter what came out of their mouth. It just sounded like that noise. Just everything they said just sounded like that noise, but like it was just legible enough to know what they were asking for. Like these were, most of them are nice people. They weren't people, they were just very, very rural. So like, it took a little deciphering. And I will use an excuse that my mother is from Wisconsin, USA, which makes everything even more confusing. Anyway, am I the arsehole for what I said? My family won't let me share any good news because of my sister's disability. I, 26 female, have an older sister, 32 female, who had a tragic accident 3 years ago that left her paralyzed from the waist down. It's been rough for everyone, but especially for her. Our family rallied around her, helping out as much as we can, and I've been there every step of the way because I love her so much. But since the accident, it feels like I don't deserve to have any good things happen to me, or at least I'm not allowed to talk about them. Every time something positive happens in my life, I get shut down by my family. When I got a promotion at work last year, I was so happy and excited to tell them. I thought my family would be happy for me, but when I tried to share the news, my mum pulled me aside and told me not now because my sister had a tough day. So I ended up just keeping it to myself. 8 months ago, my boyfriend proposed, and when I told them, my mum immediately changed the subject, later telling me that my sister was feeling down about her own marriage struggles. It's like anything good in my life is an offense to my sister's situation. This happened a few days ago. I've been saving up for years to buy my first new car. I finally managed to do it, and I was so excited. I thought my family would be happy for me, so I decided to tell them. As soon as the words were out of my mouth, the room went dead silent. And then my mum whispered to me, "This isn't the time. Think about your sister." My sister looked so sad, and I instantly felt like the worst person in the world. But I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I said, "Can't I share anything good in my life? I thought you'd all be happy for me." No one knew what to say, and I left the house. I've never done that before. Now I'm filled with regret and confusion. I love my sister, and I never want to hurt her, but it feels like I'm not allowed to have anything good happen to me. It's getting to the point where I feel like I'm walking on eggshells all the time. I understand my sister's life's changed drastically, and I'm genuinely supportive, and I've always been there for her, but sometimes I just want to be able to share my own life too. I feel so guilty for even feeling this way, like I'm being selfish or inconsiderate. Her husband and even my parents share things about their lives freely, and no one seems to mind. But as the younger sister, I'm not allowed to share anything good in front of her, so I don't hurt her feelings. I get it. I really do. I understand she's going through a lot, and I don't want to add to her pain, but it feels like I'm not allowed to have any joy in my life around my family. Now, I know I owe my sister an apology for how I reacted. I never want to make her feel sad, but I'm struggling with how to approach my family. I don't feel like I should apologize to them, and I honestly don't think I'll be sharing anything with them in the future. Am I the asshole? No. Honestly, I think they're completely right. In most aspects, but like, they're also right in the way they should go forward with it as well. Because, yeah, probably the only person who deserves any kind of apology from OP, and I'd say apology shouldn't be needed, but I can understand apology for the outburst itself, would probably be the sister. Because it looks like this is not, the sister's not the one causing this. It's everyone else. Everyone else is basically snuffing out OP because they're walking on eggshells around the sister, and I would be willing to bet money on the fact that the sister is not involved in that whatsoever. Like, yeah. OP doesn't owe an apology. If anything, from specifically the situations OP has pointed out, the mum is the one who really needs to get her shit sorted. Out of all of them, it's the mum who's the one who is actively snuffing around. And like, I can understand minor to moderate events. I can understand, like, I'm gonna buy a new car. I can understand why that would be a delicate topic to bring up around someone who is paralyzed from the waist down. That particular one I can understand, which is ironically the one particular one they're talking about. I can understand the hesitancy behind it. If it was just that one instance, I would be a lot more empathetic to the other parties. Because, let's be honest, yeah, if you were paralyzed from the waist down, a part of you would feel a little bit of oof if your successful younger sibling announced they were buying a new car. A part of your brain would probably go, well, that's nice. I'd get a new car too, if me legs fucking worked. A part of you would react like that. The rest of you would probably be happy for them. But, you know, a part of you would react like that. Because we're humans, and as such, we are flawed. However, it's the context that came before that point, which has me 100% on OP's side. Also, hi Xylee, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for the hydrate, I appreciate it. Mwah, and welcome down. It's the fact that OP gets a promotion and the mum shuts it down because, oh, your sister's had a tough day. Promotions are big deals. And if you get a promotion at work, like, they're not easy to get, especially in this economy. In this day and age, episodic work histories are becoming more and more common. The career is slowly dying out. Believe it or not, it gets worse, Xylee, trust me. But like, the concept of a career is slowly becoming harder and harder to live. unfortunately, episodic careers are becoming more and more common, which basically means you work at one place for a year or two, you get the experience, and then you get a job at a new place with a higher position. And it's kind of like you're still progressing in your career, but you're not doing it in the same place. It's not a promotion, it's more you are just qualifying for better jobs. Promotions are internal. That means that you've stayed in one workplace and your bosses have recognized you're doing so good, they're going to voluntarily give you more money and a better spot in it. Promotions are harder to get than just better jobs in general, because they basically require you to spend a long time in a workplace really digging your claws in and getting the faith of everyone around you. So, having that shut down just because the siblings had a tough day, like, I apologize if I come off as blunt when I say this, but considering her accident and situation, I think it's fair to say that she has a tough day every fucking day. So, like, when's a good time? But it's this next one that really made me go, this mum is a cad. I would say the worst word, but I want to at least have one swear word I don't say too often on stream. I'm trying to not be too Australian, but you know which word I'm talking about. 8 months ago, OP was proposed to, and the second OP told them, the mum immediately changed the subject and then pulled OP aside and said, oh, but your sister's feeling down about her marriage struggles. It's not the time. Fuck off. If you can't even announce when you've gotten fucking engaged, well, what's gonna happen at the wedding? I'm sorry, oh, I hereby pronounce you man and wife, or wife and wife, man and man. I hereby pronounce you spouse and wife. And the mum goes, oh, it's not really the time. I mean, your sister's not looking, she looks a bit upset. I mean, can you just like hurry this up so we can go hang out with your sister? Fuck off! No, Jesus Christ, if you're not even willing to listen to an engagement announcement because you're scared of offending the delicate sensibilities of your other child, that's blatant favoritism, and you are a C word. Get your head out of your ass. You were neglecting your other child. Yeah, they're both adults, but not good. I think, and with that context, OP was well within their right to snap. Like, straight up. OP was well within their right to snap. Anyone would snap. Anyone would snap. Enjoy your dinner, Wolfie. Anyone would crack at that point. And yeah. And so, but like, also, there hasn't been any negative actions from the sibling in this entire post. It seems pretty clear just on context alone. This is the mum's pity party. Drowning everything out. Maybe the other family members as well. But the mum is definitely the leader of this pity party, and the sibling is just kind of the focal point. It's a whole case of like, when someone's playing favorites, don't blame the favorite. Blame the one who's playing favorites. Because probably 50% of the time, the quote-unquote favorite kid isn't really doing anything special. They are just existing, and this other person has decided to put them on a pedestal. Blame the one with the pedestal. And in this case, yeah, I think, like, yeah, OP should probably, like, if the sibling seems hurt by the outburst, maybe apologize specifically just for the outburst. Not for the words, for the outburst. But, like, apart from that, the rest of them don't deserve an apology because ultimately it's their crime and they're getting their comeuppance. So yeah, absolutely not the arsehole. And yeah, like, and I'll look at it. All right, so I found some more context in the comments regarding the sibling. Quote unquote. My sister never says anything. It's always my mum who jumps in to tell me off, followed by reasons why. My sister did look sad when I told them about my new car, but she didn't say anything. Whenever I try to discuss things with my sister, my parents tell me not to, saying it might complicate things and I might end up hurting her feelings even more. Dynamic-wise, she's always been the confident one, saying whatever she wants whenever she feels like it. I've had to work on myself over the years to start expressing myself better, but things have gotten worse since the accident, and now I can't say anything at all. But yeah, like... yeah, it really looks like the sister is genuinely innocent here. Like... yeah, the sister didn't stop the mum, but like... yeah, like... it's a tricky one when it comes to the sister, I think. Like, I guess, like, it's one of those, like, there's not enough information on how the sister acts to really know if the sister is, I guess, like, in on it or out of it. But it just... if the sister always stays quiet, it's probably a case of just the sister doesn't want to cause any waves, and I'm just, like, obviously speculating, but, like, one thing that I can say for dead certain is, like, the sister doesn't have time to react. Because in every one of these situations, the mum pounces on OP immediately. OP, I've got this, mum, immediately pulls aside, immediately changes topic, immediately shuts it down. The sister doesn't even have time to react. At best, the sister would have to pipe up and go, actually, mum, please don't. And, like, once again, action has consequences, but lack of action also has consequences, and that is true. But, like, yeah, OP's not the arsehole, absolutely. The mum is the leader of the assholes in this one. Gotta love those sticky situations. Alright. Now to have a good sip of my bumpers to get ready to continue. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for telling my mum that if she didn't want kids, she's not getting a huge Mother's Day celebration? I really want to know what level of tea is behind this one. Alright. Growing up, my dad stayed at home while my mum worked. While my mum financially provided for my sister and myself, she was emotionally hands-off. She came to a ballet recital here and there, but didn't want to help with homework, didn't want to listen when we needed advice, etc. Our dad did 95% of the emotional labour. I later found out from my mum that my dad was the one who wanted kids. She loved her career and didn't mind providing financially, but she didn't want to do any of the stuff related to raising us outside of that. I'm very grateful that she provided for us financially, but I do admit it hurts that she wasn't there when we needed her. She was physically present, but not emotionally present. And to clear it up as well, the arrangement was my mother's idea, not my father's. That being said, I do agree that my father was equally as selfish for making this arrangement. My dad always did grand gestures for her. Mother's Day was always a big deal with a huge brunch, flowers, gifts. She was spoiled. She did nothing for him on Father's Day. He had to do everything for himself until my sister and I were old enough to do stuff for him. I get that was the arrangement they had, but I know it made my dad sad. I once asked why he didn't get the same hoopla Mum got, and he just sadly said, Father's Day isn't as important as Mother's Day. As adults, my sister and I have tried to rectify it. We do Father's Day up big, and our dad loves it. We grill for him just how he taught us, and throw a huge barbecue with some other family members. However, we've turned Mother's Day very low-key. We still celebrate our mum, but she usually gets a quiet lunch at a restaurant of her choice and a few gifts. After my mum ended up skipping my sister's baby shower this year because she didn't see the big deal with someone having a baby, my sister wanted nothing to do with her. We sent gifts, but spent Mother's Day with each other and our husbands and our own kids. My mum told us after Father's Day that she was hurt we didn't do more for her in recent years. I said that since she put in almost no emotional labour into raising us, we're putting none into her. She said that our father and I had an agreement. I pointed out that yes, but we never agreed to it, and it wasn't fair that we grew up with an emotionally absent mother who didn't want us. And to be fair, we've had this conversation with our dad as well, and he admits it wasn't fair to us either. I also said if she didn't want kids, why should she be celebrated as a mum? My mum's upset with us both now and called us ungrateful brats. My dad feels bad for her, but supports our choice. Am I the arsehole? Edit. To those asking how I'd feel if my dad were the one that acted like this, / how I feel about dads who do this in general, they suck just as much and it's not fair to the kids regardless of whatever agreement a spouse has come to. This is not gender specific. While some people may have a gender bias, I do not. Thank you for the hydrate ramen. Yeah, OP's not the arsehole. Yeah. Just... It's a murky one. Like... It's a murky one in that... like... Very, very like, I'm talking playing with fucking straws level specific. It's a petty argument. But all of the context changes that entirely. Like, but like, I'll be honest, like, expecting the dad to do a massive, massive event for Mother's Day and doing nothing for him on Father's Day, and for his response to be Father's Day isn't as important as Mother's Day, someone has told him that. Like, that is quoting what someone else said. Very likely, she's told him that. She seems like a hard ass, to be blunt. Which is fine, but you've got to be a little squishy. Otherwise, you just come off as an asshole. Yeah, like, ultimately, at the end of the day, he raised the kids. It's not surprising that the kids are more attached to him than her. And it seems like as well, and it's like, I guess like the real thing, the thing that stood out to me that made me go, okay, this mom is an asshole, is she skipped OP's sister's baby shower, and baby showers are big deals. Specifically because, quote unquote, she didn't see the big deal with someone having a baby. Lady, that is not just someone having a baby, that is your daughter having your grandchild. Specifically to family, it should be a bit more than someone having a baby. And also, if someone throws a baby shower, it doesn't matter how you feel about baby showers. If you care about that person, you will go, or at the very least, you will try to go. You won't piss on their efforts. Like, yeah, like, it's really unfair. And just, what? Like, yeah, honestly, same Xana. Like, I'm really glad that they do celebrate Father's Day with him. I think that's really sweet. Like, the math's not adding up. Like, it's very clear that this mother is quite a selfish person. At least, she's emotionally selfish. And I specifically am calling her this, not just because she doesn't really give out a lot, but she seems to expect people to put the effort into her, but she's not willing to do the same. And ultimately, if she wants to repair this relationship with the kids, maybe she should get her head out of her ass a little bit and try and see things from their perspectives. They are within their right to be upset. And like, as well, like, if your reaction to someone calling you out is to go, well, you're just an ungrateful brat then, you're being defensive and you're coming off as a tit. Yeah, you can't reap what you don't sow. I mean, it's just one of those, like, actions have consequences. Like, if she wants a close relationship with her kids, she's gonna have to reach out. And if she doesn't, those kids are well within their right to go, well, not my problem. Alrighty. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, exactly, Zanna, yeah. It's like putting your hand into an empty cereal box. If you ate all of the cereal, shockingly, there's not going to be any cereal left in the box. So don't get mad at the box when it's out. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for warning my sister's boyfriend she wanted our parents to confront him at dinner? My 23 female family went out for dinner a few days ago to celebrate my sister, 26 female, Jen's birthday. When we got to the restaurant, Jen was already there alone. She said she told her boyfriend Blake the time got pushed back 30 minutes because she needed to talk to us alone. Jen was mad at Blake for not getting her any birthday gifts and only took her out to dinner to a place they go to often. Our parents understood her being upset and she asked if they'd try talking to him because she couldn't get Blake to understand how hurtful that was. I asked her if she'd given him her usual quote-unquote present for his birthday or last holiday, and Jen said that wasn't important. For context, my sister's idea of a gift for her partner is lingerie and sex, and only ever that. I don't know about her past relationships, but I do know in the 2 years since they've been together, I've heard and seen Blake give her gift ideas for him, and he winds up buying them for himself after the fact. He's come to Christmas at our house with gifts for Jen, and Jen always shows up empty-handed for him, saying she'd give him his present later. I told Jen it sounded like she got as good as she gives, whereas our parents said I should be concerned someone would be dismissive and vindictive towards my sister. Our parents said that they'd think about talking to him based on his behaviour when he arrived. So I text Blake that Jen was setting him up for a lecture. He wound up not showing up. Last night, Jen called me angry. She saw my text to him and realised my text was the reason he cancelled, and accused me of not having her back, and she's told our parents that I butt into their relationship, but I figured she was trying to get us involved in her relationship anyway. I probably could have just stayed quiet, but at the time it really didn't sit right with me what she was trying to do. Am I the arsehole? Mini update. Thank you everyone for the responses. I wouldn't say my sister is the golden child, since we were treated equally growing up, more that our parents are family first no matter what. This is not the first time she's tried getting others to fight her battles, just the first time she's done it in public and with our parents. I do not know if our parents know her gift giving, but it's pretty easy to figure out based on her comments being the same with every boyfriend she's had since high school. And no, I don't have feelings for Blake. I have a boyfriend of my own that I love very much. They have broken up, and as some of you have guessed, Jen is blaming me, but honestly I wasn't expecting to come through unscathed after I warned him. I got the news from our mother who called earlier to hark on me and not backing my sister up against a man who disregarded her wishes on an important day and bailed. I told Mum there are times you absolutely do have the family's back, but when your daughter only ever forwards nature's gift card to her partners on gift-giving occasions, knowing they've asked for something else and that involves the entire family for getting her processor turned around on her, isn't it. Instead of agreeing to a public intervention, she should have told Jen to leave us out of it and keep it between them. Maybe shut Jen's "all men need sex to be happy" rhetoric years ago, shut it down, and maybe should have a son-in-law by now. So that's all that. Thanks again. Now you think I'm gonna go buy some just for the hell of it gifts for my own boyfriend. That just got down, oh my god. Just, I mean, for one, not the assholes of nature's gift card. Okay, that is the funniest description right there. Nature's gift card. That was brilliant. Honestly, Ghosty, it sounds like that. But, like, this is just 100% he got sick of it and returned the favor. And the first, just, what, like, just, are you surprised? How? How are you surprised? Like, come on, like, some couples are genuinely happy with nature's gift card being the prevalent gift of the day. But not everyone is, and it's more about an equivalent thing. If like nature's gift card is the mutual gift, or if the one getting the gift is a nymphomaniac, then it's fantastic. But everyone else will probably look at that after like the third or fourth time and go, you stingy bitch. Like, I'm all about saving a dime, but like, if every single gift is the horizontal tango, you either better never be horizontal tangoing outside of special occasions, or you better be expecting nothing in return except round 2. Because as gifts go, that's like giving someone butter for every fucking occasion. And like, they may love butter, but like after like the second Christmas, they're gonna get real sick of opening up their present and finding a tin of butter, you know what I mean? Hey babe, I've got nature's gift card and I'm looking for 50% off my next purchase. Oh my god, that is just, and it's like, I think like the bit that like my brain's locked in on as well is the fact she has a history. She has a history. Apparently every single boyfriend from when she graduated high school has received nature's gift card as the present. If the sister is 26, she likely graduated high school like 7, 8, 9 years ago. Just saying. I think she's regifting. Oh my god, what the what? Oh god, what an interesting character. Ghosty out here like, if you offer me nature's gift card, I'll request a refund and the cash in credit. Oh, Nova. Watch the VOD. Just like, yeah, I don't want to explain it. Let's just say it's what it implies. Alright. Am I the asshole for telling my brother's wife we can't all have rich parents like her and her siblings? My brother Nicky, 25 male, is married to Lisa, 24 female. They were at my parents' house on Sunday for dinner and Lisa really annoyed the crap out of me, something that isn't new, and I said something in anger and I might be the arsehole for it, maybe. So, Lisa has a wealthy family. They paid for her and her siblings' college expenses 100%. They paid for Nicky and Lisa's house. They paid for the wedding. They're paying for one of their sons' weddings this summer. They can afford all that. Lisa has always been very open, if trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, about it. She never hid the fact that she came from money and was never shy about saying her parents paid for so much for her and her siblings. Lisa doesn't understand that we're not all that lucky. I'm 19 female, work full time, and I still live with my parents. We couldn't afford college. I didn't get the grades for a scholarship. Struggled enough through school that getting into massive debt for college when I could end up funking seemed like a bad move for me. So I focused on working, and I applied for a couple of training programs close to my parents' house so I could try and do better without risking debt for nothing. Lisa looks down on me so hard for living with my parents still, and for not going to college. Sunday she talked about how all her siblings attended college, how 3 of them are still in college, living there and doing just fine, how they'll be able to buy houses right out of college, how even she and my brother could do it. My parents said politely that not everyone can do all of that. But then she talked about being 19 and not in college and living on my own, and how I should really try so much harder. So I snapped at that moment. I told her we can't all have rich parents who can afford to pay our ways through college, for our weddings, and for our houses. I told her my parents didn't have that kind of money, and neither did I, so we're doing our best in this shitty fucking economy. Lisa told me I'm just lazy and making excuses, and she stormed out. Nicky left a while after, and he was pretty quiet. Lisa used his phone to send me 30 texts 3 days later demanding I apologize and tearing me a new one for not doing it without being told. I know it was her because she texts in a very specific way. Am I the asshole? No. No, like, it was an outburst, sure, if we are going to play absolute technicalities. Outbursts are always a bit dickish no matter how justified they are. Does that make you an asshole in this situation? Hell no! Like, I'm sorry, like, not everyone shits money, and if this was the arsehole Olympics, OP would barely get a participation trophy, because Lisa would win the whole fucking cup. Like, come on, like, the entitlement coming off of this girl, like, oh, just, oh, the pain, like, there is nothing wrong with still living with your parents if you cannot afford to move out. It is one thing if you make more than enough money to move out, you're starting a family, and you're still living with your parents because the rent's free, and you basically, like, it's one thing if you are leeching off your parents, if you're actively leeching off your parents. It's another thing if you genuinely cannot afford to move out. It is not, like, that is different, because shockingly, it's a really shit economy at the moment. Like, I mean, some parents don't charge rent for their kids. I wouldn't know. I moved out at 17, so, like, I never have experienced adulthood under my parents, but, like, it all depends on the parent. But, like, it's very much that case of, like, oh, just, come on, like, just the self-importance, the entitlement coming it from, like, it's not that easy. And, like, I have friends who still live with their parents because life is fucking expensive and they want to focus on studying. That's another thing. If you're studying, live with your fucking parents. Trust me, it's cheaper. Like, college is expensive. And it's like, that's the other thing as well. Like, and even then, there's no guarantee the parents can afford it. In a lot of cases, parents will charge board to adult kids or kids who are currently at work. She didn't mention anything about any kind of financial agreement. She works full time. It's quite possible she pays rent. Honestly. Clearly, like, that's not even part of the argument. The argument is she was being shamed for the audacity of living with her parents. She's 19. 19 is very young. Like, come on. Hi, Sayoko. Sayoko, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome. And the thing is as well, it's very cultural. Like, in a lot of Western cultures, individualism is very promoted. Like, individualism is very much a large part of the culture. We're all individuals. We all grow up. We move out. We take care of ourselves. It's very much part of Western culture to kind of guide your own way through the endless seas of capitalism or whatnot. But, like, that's not the case in a lot of Eastern cultures and a lot of other cultures as well. Like, there are a lot of cultures where, like, the entire point is, like, in one house you have the grandparents, the parents, the kids, etc. Because, like, family is just very important. It's also, like, there's a lot of cultural importance blended in as well. Some groups stay very close together, some are very far apart. And, like, yeah. Oh my god, Commodore. And yeah, like, it's very much one of those, like, I don't know how exactly to phrase it, except for the fact that, like, her head is clearly not living in reality, and she clearly hasn't, like, connected the fact that, like, you are so privileged, like, oh my god. Alright. Having a sippy, having a sip. Nom 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 nom. Alright, scritching this nose. Alright. Am I the asshole for telling my parents they need to learn to live without me? My parents have a lot of kids. They always wanted a big family, and were not prepared for how hard that work would be. I'm 17 male, the eldest of 10, and my parents have relied on me for so long that I don't remember a time where I wasn't treated like the third adult in the house. My siblings range from 15 down to 4. My parents are still technically able to have more kids too, because neither are 40 yet, and it scares me, I won't lie. We already struggle so much with 10 of us, and I know it would be worse if they added more, especially when I'm getting so close to moving out. In our house, we have a boys' room, a girls' room, and our parents' bedroom. We basically all sleep on these tiny-ass bunk beds in order to fit everyone in. No one gets brand new clothes, it's all thrift store for me and the oldest of my sisters, and our youngest brothers and sisters get our hand-me-downs. It was expected I would step up by the time I was 5. I had to make mine and my siblings' bed. I had to tidy up after younger siblings. I had to stop my younger siblings from climbing onto things, and I was also expected to clean the floors. Over time, more chores were added to my list. Helping to cook, babysitting, even when I was too young, really, helping with homework, holding siblings' hands when we went grocery shopping so they wouldn't run off, cleaning the bathrooms, cleaning both the girls' and boys' bedrooms, tidying up if we were having guests, especially if anyone had friends over. My siblings weren't really given chores, and I was basically doing just as much as my parents around the house. My siblings rely on me for too much. From driving them places, to picking them up from places, to giving them permission for stuff. My parents let me give permission when I know they would. They expect me to buy them stuff. They come to me more than our parents, and sometimes come to me after our parents if they don't like what our parents have said. They get pissy whenever I try to get them to help out, and our parents won't back me up, so they have never done any kind of chore or helped out at all. They get so mad when I ask, and they say I'm not mum and dad, but then they also won't go to mum and dad for this shit most of the time. My parents started freaking out because I'll be 80 in October, and they know I plan to move out. I also work part-time, and that gets relied on to help financially, and between that and all I do around the house, it's finally dawned on my parents that I won't be around in a few more months. They started word vomiting all of this on me, and I told them that they'll need to learn to live without me because it's not my job to be the third adult in the house anymore. They told me I'll still be a part of the family, and I can't just abandon them. I said I'll not support the household after I turn 18 because it won't be my job. Am I the asshole? No. 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 Your parents have 10 kids. Yeesh. Oh my god. 10? You should know. Like, no. Move out. Oh my god, 10 kids! Oh my Jesus Christ. And the fact that the parents aren't getting any of the other 9 kids to do any of the chores or anything like that. What the fuck? Like, that is not fair. Like, your first kid, you wouldn't just like, alright, I'm gonna have a bunch of kids. Boop! Alright, I've popped out the extra parent, now to pop out the actual kids. Pop, 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 pop. I don't know if I popped 9 times, but I probably didn't, because it's a lot of fucking kids. Oh my god, like, you can't get that many kids in the game of life. And, like, that's a kid generator. You can't have that many kids in a household in The Sims without any adults whatsoever, unless you add in cheats. That is a lot of children. Hi, 𝐄𝐍𝐕𝐓𝐮𝐞𝐫. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Thank you. And welcome, welcome. Yeah. OP's not the asshole. The parents really need to live without him, because they need to realize just how easy they have had it, because they are so lucky that he decided to step up, because he could have just acted like the rest of the little kids. And they could have had 10 nightmares on their head instead of 9, plus a responsible older sibling. I hope he moves out. I hope he gets on with his life. Keep having a cordial relationship, of course. But, like, those parents really need to stop and realize, yeah, you've got 9 more kids. Fucking raise them yourselves. Oh god, like, just saying. Everyone is well within their right to choose their family size. Full respect, if you want a big family and you can handle it, pop out a big family. If you want a small family, pop out a small family. If you don't want to pop out kids, don't pop out kids. It is your life, make your choices. But if you hit 10 kids and you think your life's gonna fall apart because the eldest one moves out for his sanity, maybe consider taking the pill. Like, I don't know, I think that's the point. You're starting the contraceptives. Stop having kids. You've got enough. If you cannot handle them, you've got enough. And get those other kids to hell. Oh my god, just oh, I can't comprehend. Oh lord. That is so many kids. Oh yeah, go take care of yourself, Ghosty, go take care. Crack your back or slap a heat pack on it or have a pain med, whatever makes it feel a little bit better. Protect your back, you boomer. Say it with affection. It's like, honestly, Upsidai, from the story itself, they didn't specify what race they were or anything like that, or whether it was cultural, but it was specified that essentially all of the work was forced on the eldest kid, and they didn't make any of the other 9 children do any of the work. And now they're panicking because he's moving out. Even if they were expecting him to live with them until he married, that's still their fuck up. Because, like, like, what were they expecting? Kids grow up. Like, come on. Oh god, just that poor kid though. I swear, like, when he moves out, he's gonna like get into that place, the housemates or something, and he's probably not gonna know what to do with himself. He's probably gonna be like, I don't have to pick up after 9 kids every day. I can have hobbies. Never had a hobby before. What hobby should I pick? Because if you pick it up after 9 kids, I'm sorry, you don't have any hobbies. You don't have time. You only have time for the kids. Let him live. The biggest fuck up was not popping out a 4th parent. Yeah, they should have treated the second one as a backup too. Oh, they fucked it. Alrighty. Am I the arsehole for putting both my obese and skinny twins on a diet? I have 2 children, 14-year-old identical twins, Megan and Alana. Both are 5 foot. Megan weighs over 150 pounds, while Alana weighs around 95. They used to be the same weight until they were around 7, when Megan started getting chubby, but still healthy weight. When she was 11, Megan was considered medically overweight. I went to a doctor for advice, and he said that I shouldn't worry too much since a lot of kids gain weight right before puberty, and then balance out after the growth spurt. The twins had their growth spurt last year, and Megan's weight has only increased since then, to the point where she's actually obese. So I decided to implement a healthy diet for the entire family. I slowly started to cut back on sugar, junk food, and unhealthy snacks. I cooked them high-volume, low-calorie meals full of vegetables and protein so that they still feel full after eating. Neither of the twins are very athletic, so I've also tried encouraging them to engage in physical activities like swimming, bike riding, and trampolining, etc. I tried putting emphasis on staying healthy instead of losing weight. However, Alana guessed that the real reason for this new diet is because I wanted Megan to lose weight. She started complaining that it's not fair that she also has to diet because her sister's fat. I told her that I didn't want Megan to feel singled out and feel as though she's the only one being punished for her weight. Am I the arsehole? For context, we've gone to multiple doctors, and neither of the twins have medical conditions that would influence their weight. I don't know how to respond to this one, cause like, on the surface, it kinda comes off as like a vain parent just wanting her kids to eat healthy but having a vain reason for doing it. Like, it's like her reason is shitty, but yeah, it's like, it feels like the intention, it doesn't feel like it comes from like a genuine like I just want my kids to be healthy place. It does feel like it does come from a I like my kids getting fat place. So like it doesn't feel like it's coming from the right place, but her actions don't seem that bad. Like, she's not like putting them on vigorous routines, or she's not forcing them to have like insane diets. It's like, it's just healthy food. And yeah, like it's like one of those like, oh, no kid likes to eat their broccoli kind of way, but like, yeah, like it's it's kind of like it feels like it's got the wrong motivation behind it, because she's clearly focusing way too much on one of her kids' weight, especially because like 150 pounds isn't really that bad in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's not that bad. Like, I think like 120 pounds is considered like skinny. So I mean, like I'm Australian, so I speak in kilograms. So I'm just doing some vague mental math and guessing where in the pound range like the healthy rate is, but like I'm pretty sure like 120, because I think like a pound is like half a kilogram. So like going by that quick mental math, 150 pounds is like roughly like 75-ish kilos. That's not that bad, really. Yeah, it's a bit chubby, but like it's not bad. It's not unhealthy. Like, yeah, like it'd be one thing if like Megan's 14 and weighs like 250 pounds or 200 pounds, because like that would be at a point where it's like, okay, this seems like a significant health risk for someone who's 14 years old. 150 pounds is just pretty average, honestly. I don't think there's anything bad about it. And I can definitely understand, like, oh, you know, like my kids, they're a bit unhealthy. Put them on a, like, you know, let's give them healthy food. Okay, I think that's a good choice. Feed your kids healthy food, they'll be healthier. Encourage them to be athletic so they can move around. Yeah, I think that's fair. But one thing that's ironically really shining out to me. So 150 pounds is only, I swear, no, I think 150 pounds is more than 54 kilos. Pretty sure it's more than 54 kilos. I think it's around like the, okay, 68, that makes more sense. Like 54, that's really light. Yeah, 68, 68, that's not even 70. That's nothing, like, that is fine. That is fine. You're a bit chubby, but you're not that bad. Like, 68, you've got your full mobility, you have like a livable amount of fitness. It's like, you're not exactly like going to be championing any races, but you're fine. 68 is fine in the realm of kilograms. I'll be honest, between the two siblings, the one that worries me more is the other twin is 95 pounds. To be perfectly blunt, to me, that looks like an anorexic level of weight. Like, that is underweight. 95 pounds seems underweight. Like, granted, that might be like low weight or healthy for a 14-year-old. I don't really know. But like I feel like they are 14. So it's like 95 for 14. Okay. 43 kilograms for someone who's 5 foot. 43 kilograms is definitely on the underweight side. It's probably not dangerously underweight, but it is underweight. Like, if they're 14, that's underweight, yeah. So, yeah, one kid's overweight, but your other kid's underweight. The fact that, like, OP is focusing only on the other kid, but is not seeing a problem with the underweight kid, I think is where, I guess, the asshole really starts shining a little bit, and why it feels like she's got the wrong motivation. Because at least from my external peanut gallery, childless point of view, both of those kids are actually unhealthy weights. And they both are actually going down dangerous paths in different directions. And if you have to focus on weight so much, I think OP needs to look at the other sibling as well, because it's like 95 kilo. If you're not very active, and twins generally have the same body composition, if you're not very active and you're only 43 kilograms at 14 years of old, you might need to get that kid, like, I think that kid needs to be observed, because there is a chance that she could be developing an eating disorder. And just, yeah, so it's kind of like both of those kids seem like they're going down dangerous paths, and she's only focusing on the heavier one, and I don't know, it's just the way she phrases it just, it makes me feel squicky for like letter, but alright, let's see. Okay, yeah, the comments all basically seem to be like, you're the asshole for how you approach it. Everyone seems to think that OP is the asshole, specifically for the approach and the focus that OP's got. So it's kind of like, your actions specifically aren't horrible, but your point of view is asshole-ish. Yeah. Oh, and that's absolutely fair, Samurai, 100%. We all have different body types. And I think, like, in this particular case, the only reason it's alarm bells is both of these girls are twins. And the fact that one sibling has no issues with a healthy weight gain, but the other is showing an underweight, they would have the same body type. Which means there's likely a problem. But honestly, that's something for doctors to figure out, and for health advice and nutrition and all that kind of stuff. But like, ultimately at the end of the day, like, 68 is not a dangerous weight, piss off. Like, OP comes off as a cad, honestly. Yeah, just, and also they're 14, poor kids. The only thing that happens when you drown your kids in weight obsessive talk, when they're young is the kids grow up with a complex. Yep. Yep. Yep, 𝐄𝐍𝐕𝐓𝐮, yep. And it's like, I've always been average weight myself. You know, I've never been like twiggy to the point that I've been looked at with alarm. I've never been heavy to the point I've been looked at alarm. I'm pretty average. But I have had friends on both sides of the spectrums, and it's always been strange how, like, the friends of mine who were dangerous, like, both, you could argue from a completely neutral standpoint, they were in a dangerous area. However, people would only focus on the heavier individuals and even compliment or praise the one on the other side. And it's like, she's eating 2 rice grains and a shrug. I think she needs help. Like, it's that kind of case of, I'm not an expert. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm putting that out there. Like, I'm literally I'm a VTuber. Like, I will, when it comes to art, I will drown you in knowledge any day. But when it comes to anything medical, I'm not an expert, and I'm not going to pretend to be. But yeah, I do think that aspect of society is quite unfair. Yeah, I feel bad for those twins, honestly. Hey, at least you embrace it, Commodore. Yep. Yeah, and the thing as well, sometimes it's just body type. Like, I have, honest to God, had friends who, like, who just genuinely just didn't really gain weight. That was it. Like, there's nothing unhealthy. They just didn't really gain weight. They didn't gain muscle either. They were twiggy. They could eat your house out, and they wouldn't gain anything. Ironically, they were the ones most likely to eat your house out. Like, it's just body types. Like, I think there's like 3 major ones off the top of my head. Like, there's the muscly one, there's the chubby one, and there's the twiggy one. And you know, and everyone is a blend of these 3 body types. Some are, you know, some are like, you know, some are twiggy, some are bigger, some are musclier. Yeah, you're kind of all jumble up. We're all a mix between them. It's just body types at the end of the day. And ultimately, who cares what your meat suit looks like? If your brain is fugly, you can't come back from that. Necromorph, what is that? A dead person. Alrighty, let's move on. Am I the asshole for hiring a cleaning service and paying for it out of my wife's budget? My wife is a stay-at-home mum. We have 2 children, 10 and 12. I pay all the bills, put money aside for the kids' education, emergencies, savings, vacation, retirement, etc. Then whatever is left, I split 50-50 with my wife. Recently, she's decided that I do not do enough around the house, so she wants me to start doing more chores. I asked her if we were going to split up all the chores again. What I mean is that the kids have their chores, she has hers, and I have mine. So if she wants me to do more, I want mine redistributed as well. I think she can mow the lawn and do the yard work and house maintenance. This is not what she wants. She wants me to take on more of the chores we agreed would be hers, on top of earning all of the money and all of the chores I currently have. I asked her what she wanted me to do. She gave me a list. I hired a cleaning service and paid for it out of our budget before splitting the fun money. Now she says that I'm an asshole and being financially abusive. I think it's a fair compromise. Am I the asshole? You certainly went about it in an arsehole-ish way, yeah. For one, not enough information. Because it's like, I think like the real key tipping point would be what chores does she have and what chores do you have? Because those lists would really show who's in the right here. Because if the lists were release the lists, but like if the lists were clear and he listed out her chores and he listed out his chores and they were balanced, then it would seem unfair that she was expecting him to take on more. But if her list of chores was from the ceiling to hell, and his list of chores was do lawn mowing on Sunday and go to work, he's a fuckwit, and he needs to do a bit more around the house. And yeah, it just really depends on context. But this wasn't asking whether he was an asshole for the chore distribution. This was asking if he was an asshole specifically for hiring a cleaning service and paying for it out of his wife's budget. To be perfectly blunt, he didn't talk it out with her first. He just did it. That was a dick move, yeah. I'd say he's absolutely the arsehole in that specific situation. Overall, not enough information. Like, he doesn't seem very willing to look at things from her perspective, but she also doesn't seem very willing to look at things from his. But like, that's one of those, like, if you're the breadwinner, and you're the only one who has a financial income, and you set us, like, you've kind of made an agreement with your spouse that you give them a certain budget. It doesn't matter how fucking butthurt you are, that agreement contributes to the peace of the house. And essentially, if you go and use the money that is originally supposed to be for her without consulting her, you've basically stolen money from her budget to be petty. Like, at that point, you're just being a dick. Like, that is shitty. That's really shitty behavior. Like, ultimately, if you're going to spend someone else's money, you need their consent first. And at the very least, you need them to know first. He did this all behind her back, and then he turned around after the bill was paid and go, less money for you. I hired a cleaning service to do your chores. Like, he didn't even give her a choice. Yeah, I agree with Commodore on this one. They are both arseholes. They both come off as arseholes. But he is definitely the bigger arsehole in this situation, because he has all the power and he's using it against her. And that's shitty to do. The top comment is like, a compromise is an agreement made between both sides. From the description, doesn't sound like you did this. It sounds like you did this unilaterally and are now dealing with the fallout. Everyone sucks here, because even if her request was unreasonable, relationships don't survive unilateral decision making and failures to communicate. Yeah, pretty much the comments agree with you guys entirely. Oh god, yeah, no, everyone sucks. Everyone sucks. I mean, the specific question, he's the asshole, but they all suck. Like, nah. Alrighty. Having some soups. Welcome back. Relax, get comfy. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for refusing to bring my letter from my mum to family therapy? My parents broke up when I, 16 male, was a few weeks old. They were never married, and they were like 19, 20 when they had me, so pretty young. They didn't get along so good, but they could be sort of civil with each other. It really depends on what was going on. I think because sometimes they stayed away from each other. When I was 6, my dad met my stepmom, and they got married by the time I was 7. My mum and stepmom did not get along at all. I remember feeling the tension between them. I remember hearing my stepmom grumble about grumble to Dad about Mum if I had to go to their house instead of home with Mum, after they'd all been in the same place. It was extra bad if they all showed up to my dance recitals. My stepmom wanted to be the one doing some of the dance stuff. She used to tell my dad that she didn't think she'd have much in common with a young boy, but dance could be our thing, and Mum was hogging it by always being there. Mum was the person who signed me up for dance. Dad wasn't on board back then. He's a bit too macho dude for that. My mum got sick when I was 8, and she died when I was 10. The worst part of that time was when she got too sick to take care of me, and I had to live with my dad all of the time. I still saw my mum, but it wasn't the same. Before she died, she wrote me a letter and told me to read it whenever I needed to feel close to her. She said she put all of her love into that letter. She also left me cards for milestones. My mum's original letter made my stepmother so angry though. I never call my stepmother Mum or anything. I never call her my parent either. I know she technically is, but I always disliked the idea of her being called that because she hated Mum so much and felt like Mum needed to step back from stuff to let her take over them, like dance. My stepmom is pissed that my mum never mentioned her in the letter and that Mum never asked me to let her, stepmom, in. She felt like Mum put up a final wall between us and made sure she would always be the outsider in my eyes, and I would always long for my mum and reject her as a mother figure. Our relationship is really tense, while things with my dad are better than they were when I was younger. He got softer, so he said the three of us should go to therapy together to figure stuff out. After 2 months of therapy, my stepmom wants the letter brought into sessions, and the counsellor feels like that's a good idea and we should discuss the content of it since it's such a point of tension. But I don't want my stepmom anywhere near it. She's poison when it comes to my mum, and I don't want her to taint it. The counsellor told me it would only benefit us all. My stepmom got mad and said even a piece of paper is more important to me than she is. We had 2 sessions since and I did not bring it. That made my stepmom's anger worse. Am I the asshole? No. Like, absolutely not the asshole. The whole point of therapy is communication and comfort, especially family therapy. And it defeats the point if one person is forced to cooperate in things they are not ready to do so. That's not gonna solve the family problems. It's gonna create a grudge. It's gonna make it worse, basically. And the stepmom really needs to work on her inferiority complex. Yeah, honestly, Xana, same. I question the counselor's ability for not really seeing the kid. Clearly, like, they're prioritizing the parents and not really actually looking at the boy. And ultimately, like, the stepmom has a serious inferiority complex to do with the past mum, and she needs to work through it and get over it. She needs to admit to herself, like, OP's mum is gone, and she's still throwing fits about it. Like, if you are so focused on your own inferiority complex that you cannot have empathy for a child whose mother has died, of course you're not going to realize that's why the kid doesn't like you. Like, it is very... No, I would put my chips on the fact the reason he isn't willing to get close to her is because she acts like this. Like, if she was able to get her head out of her own butt for 2 seconds and actually recognize what's going on, that he's, you know, a kid grieving his lost mum, and trying to open herself up more as a support, if she was willing to hear him out, be a shoulder to cry on, if she was willing to accept that he loved his mum and support him in it and kind of help him move on in a healthy way, he would be able to, ironically, see her as a mother figure. Because that's what mother figures are generally supposed to do. They're supposed to, you know, help, and usually the mother figure, quote unquote, is generally your emotional support. And she's so tied up by her own emotions, she's failing in that role that she desperately wants to have. She kind of wants to have her cake and eat it too. She's so focused on her hate against the original mum, she can't stop and realize that that hate is the reason this kid doesn't trust her. Oh no, Cream Puff. Oh, good luck and see you. Oh my god. Yeah, exactly, Zanny. Yeah. Yep, exactly. And like, it's very much one of those like, the counselor clearly wants to clear things up as fast as possible, but ultimately when it comes to any kind of therapy, any kind of counselling, yeah, I can understand why the counsellor, like, the stepmom would be like, we need to bring in this letter so we can talk about it. I can understand the counsellor going, that would be a good idea. But a good counsellor would genuinely follow that up with turning to the boy and go, would you feel comfortable bringing that in? And the boy clearly went, no, I'm not. I'd rather keep it to myself. Then the good counsellor goes, if you're ever ready, please, like, you know, you're welcome to bring it in if you ever feel ready, but, you know, I'm not going to force you. Basically, him going, I'm not comfortable, I'm not doing it, the counsellor should have backed off immediately and found a different avenue, because there is a reason he's not comfortable. Like, actions are not without reason. Like, of course, he's not going to feel comfortable bringing in the most valuable, sentimental letter he has from his mum around someone who is so actively vitriolic towards her memory. Of course he doesn't want her anywhere near it. For all he knows, the minute she gets her hand on it, she's gonna rip it in half. She's clearly so focused on her hatred of that mum that she can't even recognize that she's tainting the company around it. I'll be completely honest. I would not trust her within 10 feet of something like that if she acted like that towards the writer. Yeah. Like, even just reading this, my instinctual reaction is don't give it to her, she's gonna rip it. Like, and the fact that, like, she's reacting in anger as well. He's not bringing it and she's getting angrier and angrier. It's very likely that OP is looking at this and going, yep, she definitely wants to rip it and she's mad I'm not bringing it in. And it's the whole case, she's getting madder and madder. So he's getting more and more reluctant to bring it in, because the madder she is, the more likely she's going to have an emotional breakdown and perhaps even damage it in a fit of rage. Not worth it. Like, not worth it. Like, oh, nah, like... And honestly, he probably doesn't even want to read it out in front of her, because she'll probably try and refute or argue with the letter, or try and twist the words to make them crueler than they are, and I can understand why he wants to keep it to himself at the end of the day. But yeah, like, not the arsehole. I feel bad for him, and genuinely, I do hope their therapy works out, but that letter is a sore spot they need to wait a long time to touch, because that's not happening. Yeah, exactly, Xana. Yep. They probably went to a bargain bin counselor. Either that, or maybe they were pressuring the counselor to fix the problems, otherwise they're gonna not get any money back or something. Either way, yeah, not the best counselor, not the best counselling. Yeah, let the poor child grieve. So I mean, if the kid's 16, the mum died when the kid was 10. The mum, like, that's not that long ago to a 16-year-old. Like, time flows differently to a teenager than it does to us old boomers in the adult world. Oh my god, Ghosty. Yeah, just the you know, the confetti cannons? Give her a confetti cannon. Over carpet. Alrighty. First I'll have a sip to lubricate the vocal cords. Alrighty. Am I the arsehole for keeping score of everything I've ever done for my husband? I'm a woman in my late 50s, married to my husband early 60s. We've been married for 30 odd years. I have fulfilled the role of a traditional wife for much of our marriage, and I left paid work soon into our marriage. My husband is very successful in his business and we live comfortably. All of our children are adults now. My husband built his business from the ground up, and I was instrumental to his early success, which set it up to be what it is today. We were having lunch with our children when my son mentioned that his wife didn't want to be the trad wife and do what I did to raise the kids. She raised concerns about how vulnerable a position it is and that she doesn't want to solely depend on him for money. He wanted me to talk to her and convince her by telling her how it worked out for me. I said, I understand where she's coming from, and being a housewife is incredibly risky and vulnerable, especially if he leaves her and she's been out of the labor force for a while. He countered that it had worked for his father and I because I trusted him as my husband to provide for me, and why couldn't his wife do the same? I told him I have a meticulous record of all contributions I've ever made to the family business, recently digitized with the help of my daughter, so that if the worst ever did happen, I wouldn't be relying on the mercy of a man to feed myself. I told him I have made many contingency plans over the years to minimize the risk of being a housewife and compensate for my lack of pension and benefits I'd have had I not left the labor force. My son and husband were angered by this. Both said it showed a lack of trust, and my husband especially feels I've had one foot out the door our entire marriage, and that my little escape plan includes plans to shaft him of his business. I told him the fact that he refers to as his business rather than ours is exactly why I kept those records, and why I won't be telling my daughter-in-law to do what she doesn't want to do. Am I the asshole? Note. Good morning. Thank you for your engagement. I've had read and responded to as many comments as I'm able. Thank you for sharing your perspectives, and 99% of you are being really polite. Edit. Oh, okay. Alright, just reading through. Oh, she's just saying she's going to the spa. Alright, that's cute. It's like, edit, I'm going to the spa this weekend, and we're going to have a great weekend. It's like, oh, irrelevant but adorable. But yeah, like, absolutely not the arsehole. And it really seems like, honestly, I don't blame her. I think she's well within her right to have her contingencies, and I think she should. I think that's a smart move of her, and the fact that the son and the husband basically got all squeaky by it, like, there are so many people out there. Like, if you have a... It's exactly like the kind of people who get really upset at the thought of a prenup. Like the kind, and by those means, I mean the kind of people who take it as a personal offense. Like, oh, you just don't trust me. Like, no. Always have an exit plan. It's never personal. Like, it is never personal. You could be with the love of your absolute life. Love them for absolute tears, and you'd be an idiot if you don't have an exit plan. That's not because they're a bad person. None of that. They could be the best person on the planet. But sometimes life happens. Like, life is a funny thing. You can't predict it. And, yeah. Have an exit plan. And the thing is, if you don't have a backup, like, sure, everything could go perfectly. You marry someone, they never cheat, they're perfect, they provide for you financially perfectly the entire time, everything goes fantastically. Alright, they're in an accident, they pass. Now you have to find a job, but you don't have a backup plan. You're still fucked. They could have been perfection personified, but life itself could fuck you over. Like, exit plans are not at all about trust, they're about contingencies and making sure your ass is covered. And some people find huge offense at, like, the idea of anyone ever making plans that don't immediately conclude them. And yeah, exactly, Commodore. Like, it's one of those, like, so you don't trust me? No, I think it's the other way around. Hi Yuki, hi Yuki-G, thank you for the raid, I appreciate it. Hi guys, welcome, welcome. Hi raiders, my name is AITA and I am reading Am I the Asshole Stories. Thank you for the follow, Lucky Froggy, I really appreciate it, thank you. And welcome, welcome, how was your stream? I hope it went brilliantly. But yeah, like, absolutely on that story, not the arsehole. I think she's smart to have an exit plan. And I think the one who doesn't trust the other is the husband if he's so upset by the thought that she has an exit plan in the first place. Oh yeah, they're juicy stories. They really are juicy, damn! Hi, readers! Yes, how are you guys? And by the way, if you need to rest, recuperate, get some naps, completely understand, please do. However, if you want to sip on some tea, get comfortable, because you are more than welcome to stick around. Honestly, Gossy, I think those souls. I'm like, edit, I'm going on a spa trip this weekend. And I was like, reading that, I was like, oh, that's not relevant at all, but that is so damn cute. That is so wholesome. Enjoy your spa trip, man. Oh, you did some art. Oh, yes, absolutely. Have a wonderful rest. Oh, thank you for the posture check and the stretch, dear Ramen. I appreciate it. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And that would be completely fair, dear Commodore. And the good thing as well about prenups is it works for both sides. So that you can't get like married and then like your partner gets really successful and you can't divorce just to take their assets, because unfortunately there are some people out there who do that. Not a lot, there are some. And yeah, it just covers bases. Alrighty. On to the next tale. Am I the asshole for refusing to give up opportunities that come my way for my sister's sake? My older sister, Rita, 20 female, is disabled. My sister's disability comes with a lot of health issues, and while mentally she's capable, physically she can't do much and struggled even with regular school. She never graduated high school because she got so sick in senior year that it set her way back and she didn't get the grades to graduate. She was offered the chance to repeat, but she said no because she was still really bad afterwards. It's something that causes her a lot of distress, and she still cries because she feels like she failed in the worst way. No one can convince her differently. She doesn't work, and she doesn't go to school or anything. She's at home. She gets taken care of by her parents. I, 17 female, am still in school, and I'm going into my senior year. There have been a lot of discussions about college or what other avenue I could go down. I was given information on this apprenticeship that could be perfect for me, and my guidance counselor wanted me to give it consideration over the summer because they take high school graduates. It's exciting. Rita was super upset to hear I had so many options. And not for the first time, my parents expected me to think of her before making decisions. They suggested I focus on looking at community colleges only, or not going to college at all and going into retail or a service industry job. They told me I could afford my own place if I were to do that. I didn't get to go to camp because Rita couldn't, and they didn't want me to have experiences she couldn't. I wasn't allowed to participate in school plays because Rita couldn't participate in hers. My parents would actually stop my teachers from including me. They refused to sign a permission slip that would have allowed me to enter a competition on behalf of my school, because Rita would never get to have an experience like that herself, and they didn't feel it was right for me to have it then. The permission slip came in because some travel might be involved, if I were to go anywhere. They pulled me out of art classes when I was young because I was doing super well and getting a lot of praise. My parents actually pressured me to ask if I could leave the classes, but they pulled me regardless. Rita would always get upset whenever I achieved something or got presented with a great opportunity. She'd cry, ask me why I got everything and she got nothing. I felt bad for her, but also resentful of the fact she was glad when our parents held me back. This became a fight when the college stuff came up again, and my parents saw me looking up the apprenticeship, and my parents asked me how could I even think about going, and how selfish I would be. They said I should aim for something lower, for Rita's sake. Rita heard us argue about it. She said she knows I'm too selfish to give it up for her. I told them I hated them for expecting me to. Rita and my parents said I had no sense of family loyalty at all. Am I the arsehole? No! No! Not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not. That is fucked up. That is so fucked up. What? That is hard not the arsehole. That is horrible that these parents are doing that to her. Like, Jesus Christ, like, that's horrible. And families full of arseholes, like, oh, that is awful. Like, to have the audacity, like, to shoot your child down so you can prop up the other kid. Like, heart goes out to her for the disability. Absolutely, of course, that's never a choice. That's an awful thing that happen to someone. But do not ruin or attempt to ruin your other child's career just to make the first child feel better. Yes, if you take the working track, you can eventually get to a semblance of the position where you want to be. There are unfortunately quite a lot of jobs out there that you do need a degree to get, but slowly, over time, taking the working track, the retail track, etc., can eventually lead you to a place you would like to go. That's essentially the track I took, because I want to be an artist. Yeah, I don't need to explain that really. That explains everything. But like, but yeah, and slowly over time I got to where I am now. And it's like, yeah, I'm not rich or anything like that, of course not. But, you know, I work in reception administration. And I appreciate the job. It pays the bills, and it lets me do VTubing when I come home, which is what I really want. But like, this was a choice I made. I chose this track. And yeah, there were aspects that were not by choice, that is life, but regardless, at the end of the day, I still chose this track. To force someone onto that track to make someone else feel better is going to make them despise you. Rest well, Nova, sweet dreams. Mwah. Yeah, exactly, Xana. And it's like, they are so focused on kneecapping the younger sibling to make the elder sibling feel better. Maybe, yeah, like Xana said, maybe you should just focus on finding opportunities for the older sibling. The older sibling's mental faculties are fine, quote unquote, while mentally she's capable, which means her brain is fine. It's her body which is giving her hell. And like, never shoot down a disability, absolutely not, full respect, etc. But if her brain is fine, maybe they should hire, if they really want to help that sibling get, right now the sibling's not really doing anything, she's just kind of living at home and being taken care of. Alright, can't leave the house very much, I'll assume that. I'll assume she's in a situation where she has to stay at home a lot of time for care. That's absolutely fair. Alright. Hire all the money you're saving by not giving your other daughter any opportunities. Use that money and maybe hire a tutor for your older one. Hire a tutor to come in and actually homeschool her into finishing her senior year in high school. You can do that. Homeschooling's a thing. As long as she passes the test at the end of it, she can technically graduate high school. That will help her. It'll make her feel better. She's constantly sulking because she doesn't have the same opportunities or future path that someone who has graduated high school has. There is a clear solution for that. Take an alternate route. I can say straight up from experience, you do not need to finish high school to get into a degree. And I'm saying this because I have qualified for and gotten into more than one degree, and I did not finish high school. I dropped out at year 11 to become an artist, and I still got into a bachelor. I didn't complete it because unfortunately I couldn't afford it and rent and bills were more important, and I didn't have a safety net, unfortunately. But the point is, I got into more than one over the years. I have even gotten a scholarship for one for a short period. Like, you do not need to finish high school to access tertiary education. So, there are alternate pathways, and yet they are so focused on blocking the path of this first kid in order to make the second kid feel better, when in fact they should be focusing on alternate paths for the second kid. Your life isn't over if you can't graduate high school. You just need to take a different path. A lot of colleges out there have programs now where you can do something like a diploma or a certificate, which is a lead into the first year for those who haven't graduated high school. Mature age admission is pretty common in a lot of areas, where if you hit 25, if that amount of time eventually passes, you hit 25, and they'll generally give you a leg up, or they'll help you get in a lot easier because you're older and you want to start a degree. Like, there is always paths. You've just got to look for them, and the easy path, quote unquote, is going from high school to college to job. I say quote unquote because it's never as easy as it seems. But, like, it's still there. And if I ever change my mind and decide maybe I will pursue a normal human job with university degrees and shit, if I ever go down that path, I can. And I know I can. But the sad fact is, and I say sad fact as it's not a sad, I enjoy it, but I'm sure the people living on the normal path look at me like I'm a nutter, but that's totally fine because I like being a nutter. Fact is, I go to work, I do my full-time job, it pays my bills, and I come home, and I don't want to do college, I want to do VTubing and do artist things. Because at the end of the day, I may have an adult job, and I may live in an adult apartment, and by that I mean an apartment, not a dungeon. But at the end of the day, this motherfucker still wants to be an artist. There's always a path. And even if you have to do some Dawoon level shit, sometimes the path is open in front of you. Let's metaphor this. Sometimes the path is open in front of you, and sometimes you're stuck in a pit next to a metal spike, and it looks like there's no way out. Well, get that metal spike and start digging a tunnel, bitch. If you don't have a path, make a path. You can, surprisingly, so long as if someone wants to buy it, you've got something to sell. And if that's a skill, a service, it's a path. And you just keep going down, you just make your own path. Dawoon that shit. Minecraft life. Life is like Minecraft. And sometimes, bitch just has to dig straight down for the treasure. I refuse to elaborate on that, Ghost. To be fair, Dungeon Reset is actually an amazing story. Dawoon's a character from that. And even though I say this every second stream because it's my hyper focus at the moment, please, dear God, read Dungeon Reset. It is fucking hilarious. Let's just say, you know that song? The one's like, put a little dirt under your pillow for the dirt man. That's the main character of Dungeon Reset. Anyway, not the arsehole. Exactly, Xana, yeah. Well, if you think about it this way, Nova, reality really is like Minecraft. Dig down, sometimes you'll fall into lava, and that's fine, because you'll just respawn somewhere else, and you've just got to walk back to where you were and find a new hole to dig. Oh my God. Deep under mountains, that's where he keeps his dirt. Put a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man. Oh, the pain of being interested in really niche properties. God, I wish everyone knew who Dawoon from Dungeon Reset was, because I'd really be able to you'd understand. So I'll just have to say, like, when you're caving in Minecraft. I know, right, Xana? Honestly, it's one of those songs where it's like, I'll just stop and be like, I forget about it as soon as it's finished. But like, up until that point, I'm like, put a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man. Hi, 𝐄𝐍𝐕𝐓𝐮𝐞𝐫. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Ooh, a demon core. I promise to treat it horribly. I'm an angel. Of course I am. Casually puts on shelf. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god. Ah, the dirt man will be pleased with you, dear Xana. Alrighty. Am I the arsehole? Nurses rode on the back of my car, and I got mad at them. This is a little hard to explain, but my dad's in the hospital and not in good shape. The parking garage is right next to a big college. I do go to this school, and I am 19 in May. I assume a lot of college students might use the parking garage to park because there's no parking downtown. I exited my car and start walking towards the hospital, but I forgot halfway through about the clothes I was supposed to bring to my dad. So I head back, and I see two girls in scrubs riding on the back of my car with their fingers through dust on the back windshield. They wrote, "This is not student parking. We've been watching you." And they were amidst drawing a huge ass creepy smiley face. I'm super confused why they're touching my car, and so I ask them, "What are you doing?" They begin to scold me and tell me they were calling a tow truck without me even explaining myself. So I was pretty mad and I cut her off and said something along the lines of, "Mind your own fucking business. My dad's in the hospital." She doesn't apologize and I guess didn't believe me. She just stood there. She then thought I was leaving as I got into my car to grab the laundry and started guilting me about people that are dying in the hospital and I'm taking up parking spots. Keeping in mind this parking garage is empty, there are about 50-ish spots still open around. I grabbed the laundry and said, "I'm bringing this to my dad, so can you shut the fuck up, and if my car gets towed, I'm getting you fired." They were probably around 20-something and I'm assuming they're interning there. One of them starts crying. She still didn't apologize. I think they were panicked trying to now call off the tow truck, so I just walked away. I just don't know if I was an asshole because they're nurses and working in a hospital must suck. They're trying to do a good thing, I guess. I had a pretty angry tone when I said all of that. I feel a bit bad now that I made her cry, but regardless, do you think my actions were justified? Am I the asshole? I'd say no. Like, ultimately, they are the ones who just assumed that, like, he was just one of the students. Like, they kind of looked at him, made an assumption, and instead of approaching him, they basically went and, like, I guess softcore graffitied on his car. Like, I say softcore because they were riding in the dust, so it's not actually causing any damage, but, like, basically they assumed he was a student, and when he tried to explain himself, they got entitled and cut himself and basically went, "No." And it was only once he pulled the laundry out of his car and went, "I'm taking this to my dad who's in the hospital." That's when they started panicking and breaking down because they're like, "You told me I'm gonna get you fired. I'm going to the fucking hospital. I meant to park here." That's when they panicked and realized they fucked up. Ultimately, they're in the wrong. If they were watching him the entire time, they could have approached him the entire time. They should have gone up to him at some point. They should have kept it to themselves, or approached him and gone, "Hey, you know, like this is parking for the hospital. Like it's not student parking." Then he would have been able to clarify straight away, "Oh no, I'm visiting my dad in hospital." And if they had any brains on them, but it's clearly they struggled in that department. No, but like. If they had any brains on, they would have been like, "Oh, okay, like, fair enough. Sorry about that." But, like, just absolutely not the arse. I feel bad he had to go through that, honestly. Just, no, like, yeah. Top comment, not the arsehole, report them. Yeah, because, yeah, I mean, like, they're not garage security. They're just random nurses who decided to play vigilante on the wrong person. Clarifying details. Never heard of them. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for not returning a $100 bill gift given to my daughter? 7-year-old's birthday party. Invite said no gifts, but a few people brought wrapped presents. When the last parents, fake name Joe and Sue, arrived, my daughter asked if they brought a gift. Sue saw the other gifts and looked clearly embarrassed for not having brought one, and said she thought the invite said no gifts. We were standing in front of the other parents who had just given their gifts, so I didn't make a big deal out of it. And I said something like, no, you're right, we didn't ask for anything. She is spoiled enough as is, haha. Unbeknownst to me, Sue quickly made a card and added it to the gift pile. After cake, Joe and Sue's son ran up in front of everyone and asked my daughter to open the card. We'd not planned on opening gifts at the party. My daughter pulled out a $100 bill and everyone gasped, basically. And of course my daughter was elated, followed by my daughter opening the other very small inexpensive presents. Joe seemed upset and withdrawn the rest of the party, and Sue acted like this was a completely normal gift. My partner had none of this context, so later when I told my partner how this all transpired, they were upset we may have done the wrong thing by not returning the gift, because Joe and Sue clearly felt guilted into it. Am I the asshole? It's taking a minute to clarify, this is like a long-running singular paragraph. Alright, so to the situation, invite said no gifts. Few parents brought gifts anyway. These guys arrived at the party, saw the gifts, went, oh, we should bring gifts. Daughter was like, gift? And then so they kind of panicked, added a card to the pile. Opened the card, there was a $100 bill voluntarily put in there. The husband was obviously upset with the wife that she gave him $100, but she just was like, oh yeah, cool. And then partner seemed upset that they hadn't returned the gift, even though it didn't occur to them. I don't know how to... I kind of want to say everyone sucks here. This is a hard deciphering one, but I mean, OP's behavior is shitty, as is, but because OP's reasoning comes off as dickish. I kind of want to say everyone sucks here, because I don't like OP. OP comes off as a dick, but also for this very specific question, am I the ass for not returning the gift? No? Because they're the ones who gave it? It's... They... the invite said no gifts. Not everyone brought a gift. They didn't need to give a gift. And also, it was a kid. I kind of just want to say everyone sucks here and call it, because it was a very convoluted situation they did not explain very well. But giving $100 to a 7-year-old kid is very stupid. And the husband of the wife who gave that gift, well within his right to be irritated. And that is a situation where she absolutely deserves to get in trouble for doing that. It's a huge gift to give a 7-year-old child. It is ridiculous, but it's not on the parents of the child to forcefully return the gift because she chose to give it. That's not on them. It's kind of too late at that point. Yeah, I want to say everyone sucks. The OP's behavior is shitty. The people who brought gifts when they shouldn't have brought gifts was shitty. Her going and just putting a $100 bill in the card without consulting her partner was shitty. Is everyone shitty? Everyone sucks. I'm on no one's side. I mean, I'm glad the daughter had a good day, I guess, but everyone seems shitty. There's no likable characters in this story. Oh my god, yeah. I don't like anyone. It's just bad decisions all around. Oh my god. It really does go. Yeah, it really has the vibes of watching people play tennis blind. Like, everyone's a fool. Oh my god. It's just miss after miss after miss. Oh my god. Alrighty. Let's go with... Alright, I think this one will be the last story of the night. Mostly just because I've got to get up early tomorrow. Alright. Am I the asshole for telling my dad he's not allowed to give his speech at my wedding? My fiance and I, both 20s, are getting married in a month, and there's a dispute with my dad now, and he claims I'm being unfair, but I wanted to get some thoughts on it. So, Dad decided he was going to give a speech at the wedding without saying anything first. He had shared the contents of said speech with his sister, my aunt, and she knew the speech would not sit well with me and mentioned his plan to me. So in this speech he already wrote, he talks about how his wife is the love of his life, how amazing she is, etc. It's very similar to the speech he gave at their vow renewal 10 years ago. He hasn't shied away from expressing in front of me and to me that he never loved anyone like he loved his wife, how all his past relationships pale in comparison, and that includes my mum, who was his first wife, who left him widowed with an 8-year-old son at the time. To make it even more difficult to hear, the vow renewal was held on my 18th birthday, and I got to celebrate my birthday by hearing my dad talk about how my mum meant nothing, because his second wife was so much better. They were married 8 years at the time. But a lot of family and friends didn't attend their actual wedding, and they decided they'd basically have a second one to celebrate. And they decided my birthday was the perfect time to do this. Anyway, the speech he wrote for my wedding had a lot of this content from what my aunt heard from my dad and read herself. She knew on my wedding day the last thing I needed to hear was how much he adores his wife, when he does so in a way that basically said my mum meant nothing to him. I told him I knew about the speech and he didn't have permission to give the speech at my wedding. Dad asked why not, and I told him I didn't want him to use my wedding to praise his wife. He said she means the world to us, so why would I say that? I told him she means the world to him, but she pales in comparison to my mum, who meant the world to me, and still does. I told him he might have decided mum meant nothing, but that didn't mean I shared his feelings. He accused me of being sensitive, and then said it seemed like I didn't care about his wife at all. And then he said she was a good mum to me for the 8 years that she raised me. I told him she was never anything more than his wife. My mum died when I was 8, and I didn't get a new one. And the last thing I need to hear is how little she meant on my wedding day. Dad told me to be reasonable, and the parents of the bride and groom typically say something. I told him nothing he had to say had a place at my wedding. That this is mine and my fiance's wedding, not his. I told him to get married again if all he wants to do is praise his wife. But it's not happening at mine. He told me to stop acting like a little boy and grow up, and I left. Then his wife called crying about the fight Dad and I had, which led to Dad calling me again, telling me to grow up again. Am I the asshole? No. All things considered, no. Absolutely hard not the arsehole. Just, this dad sounds like an absolute fucking prick. Like, that's so, First, you ruin his 18th birthday, and that's a big thing. 18 is like the first time you're officially an adult. Like, even when you don't become, like, legal adult, like in America, 18 is still a big deal, because you still get, like, certain adult rights. You're still considered an adult in most respects. 18 is a big deal. To ruin his 18th birthday by hosting your renewal, like, your renewal of vows day on his birthday, just to shit on his dead mum. While waxing soliloquy about, like, a woman he doesn't mind. It's garbage behavior. And then you want to do the same fucking thing at his wedding. It's not your wedding. You've had 2. I'm glad you love your wife. It's really good you love your wife. That's brilliant. I'm sure that you guys have a happy relationship. That's fantastic. Good for you. Live your best life. But the place not to wax a soliloquy about your wife is somebody else's wedding. You just come off as a selfish fuckwit. I think he's well within his right to say what he said. If you really want to wax poetic about your wife at a wedding, maybe host another wedding, because clearly you didn't get enough the first 2 times. Glad he has a great relationship with his new wife. But don't shit all over your kid's dead mum to do it. Ugh. Hi, Amy Peanut. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Hi, Peanut. Yes. Some hot Goss TM. God, absolutely not the arsehole. Easy. Oh, God. Poor kid. Well, poor adult, but poor kid. Oh my God. You know what? I will read just one more story, and then I'll call it. Mostly because the title of this story has yikes written all over it, and I'm curious. Am I the asshole for telling my son's birth mum that she's more like a sister? Oh dear God. I adopted my son when he was born. It was an open adoption, but the birth mum, Beth, was so greatly ashamed of being a teen mum that she didn't follow up on any contact, which was fine because I had no intention of involving her too much. The truth is that Ethan grew up with 2 dads and 3 older brothers. We always try to have him spend time with the girls. A couple of years ago, when Ethan was 9, Beth reached out to see how he was doing. I think she spent the last 9 years being an overachiever, so she felt worthy of having a relationship with Ethan. Ivy League, married a hedge fund dude, yoga, etc. Ethan is incredibly self-aware and intellectual. You can't bullshit him, so he and I enjoy a very open relationship. I told him his mum reached out to me and asked about him. I emphasized that she didn't forget him, but she had to go away to work on herself. I asked how he'd feel about talking with her, and he said he was open to it. They have a good relationship and spend time together. He's met her husband. It's been a good thing to know his bio family. Ethan is starting 6th grade, and he has to pick an elective class. There have been arguments about what the class will be. Anyway, he told Beth about it, and she fucked up by getting involved with the matter. She said, what's the big deal about doing his yearbook? He should do what he wants to do. It's his class. I was like, you got me fucked up. I said, girl, you are not his mum. You're more like a sibling and siblings don't get a say in parenting decisions. You take a back seat. You're a seat filler in the life of Ethan. Just don't forget your place. She didn't say anything and went radio silent. I was the bigger person and reached out. I said I've been raising that kid for 11 years, so it was triggering for you to give your 2 parenting cents. You need to understand that. He understands that you should too. I guess she's waiting for me to apologize for something that she did, and I will not. Because once you do that, then everything goes bad. Am I the asshole? Phrasing. I see where OP's coming from. He was definitely in his right for basically telling her to back off when it comes to parenting matters. I agree with that. His intention was right. His execution was really bad. I agree. She shouldn't be getting involved in parenting matters. The minute he adopted that kid, it became his kid. She was out of his life for nearly a decade. She's lucky that she was allowed back in. So for her to basically try and chip her 2 cents in less than 2 years after re-entering the kid's life is really shitty and really entitled of her to do. She doesn't have the right to do that. She may be the kid's biological parent, but she's not actually the kid's parent. But he didn't need to roast her to filth in the process. Ooh, like, yeah, agree with the sentiment, don't agree with the execution. But at the very least, I am very glad that this wasn't a Sweet Home Alabama situation. Oh, because that title made me go, Okay. With the context, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I do think in this particular situation, I personally am team everyone sucks here, because even though he was in the right to tell her to back off, the way he told her to back off was the worst way you could have done it. Oh, he went full bitchy mode, and like, yeah, no. The whole don't forget your place. Yeah, you can be in the right and still be an asshole, exactly. So, everyone sucks here at best. You're the asshole at worst. Yeesh. Welcome to the land of the living, lasty. Oh god. Missed the landing. Fell on face. Scuffed face. Woof. Yeah. Oh my god, like, eesh. Yeah. Oh, what a title, though. For those who just entered, the title to this particular one was, Am I the Asshole for telling my son's birth mum that she's more like a sister? Luckily, it's a case of adopted son by gay parents. Birth mum just didn't re-enter the picture until a couple of years ago and is trying to make parenting decisions. So OP kind of stepped in and went, back off. You're not, you're not really his parent. You're the bio parent kind of thing. It's just... You would have phrased it so much better. Let's just say his phrasing prowess was about as good as that title. I don't think that he got an A+ in English, let's put it that way. Because, motherfucker loses points for no tact. Oh. Oh my god. Maybe it's like, nice try. Gold star for effort. An attempt was made. I respect that an attempt was made. You tried your best. You tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it didn't even matter. Sweet home Alabama. Yeah, that's definitely a participation trophy. Let's put it that way. Woo. But yeah, I think that's a good story to end it on, because if you think think about it, it's like a perfect bookend. We started off with chaos, and we end with chaos. For those who've just joined, the first story of tonight consisted of a lady almost burning down a house by trying to cook a pizza on a plastic cutting board in the oven. And then she tried to blame her boyfriend for not having microwavable pizzas. As if that was the reason she almost burned down the house with the plastic cutting board. I think that one's left an emotional scar on me, man. I'm gonna be sitting in the bath tonight just being like, the mental gymnastics is just bled by so fast. I just blinked and I missed it. I don't know how A got to B. I really don't. Just I say this in complete seriousness as someone with a history of burning shit you shouldn't be able to burn. How do you fuck up that badly in the kitchen? I really want to know. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna be laying in bed tonight, just like you know that like that GIF, that meme with just the confused lady and all the math symbols around the head. Actually, I think there's like a VTuber asset out now with it, which actually I should get because it's perfect for moments like this. And it's just not computing. You just like, nah. Like you're like the poor guy in the steel is heavier than feather story. You just there like, it's like, oh, it's like, okay, what's heavier, a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers? Steel, obviously. Steel is heavier than feathers. Yeah, but they're both a kilogram. But steel is heavier than feathers. Yeah, but they're both a kilogram. But steel is heavier than feathers. I feel like that guy. Also, if you have never seen the steel is heavier than feathers video, please, dear God, watch it. It is so good. Let's just say, Mars, I tried to make popcorn once, and you know what? I will tell a truncated version of the story, actually. To give some context, because I haven't told the lava popcorn story in a while. Alright, so context is I was 18 years old. I was living out of home. I was a legal adult. And I had a history of not cooking very well, but this was definitely the moment. Many of my friends went, don't trust in kitchen. Got it. Yeah, so me and my friends, a few friends that come over to my house. I say come over to my house, come over to my room in the share house I was living, and we were all just chilling, watching telly on my computer. And we were getting peckish, so I was like, oh, I'll make us some popcorn. And so I go out into the, I'd made popcorn a few times before at this point, so I go out into the kitchen and I grab my bag of popcorn from the cupboard, and I kind of had that moment like, no, alright, usually I make popcorn, I follow the instructions on the bag, I've made it successfully a few times. Hi fanboy, welcome. And all's well. However, this was the mental gymnastics I took, alright. Usually, if I put this in for 90 seconds, if I put it in the microwave, probably about 2/3 of the kernels will pop. That's fine when it's just me. However, I have friends over today. So I really should get all of the kernels to pop. So I'll have to put the popcorn in for longer. 9 minutes should do the trick. So I put the popcorn bag in the microwave for 9 minutes. So I get the hot popcorn bag out of the microwave. At this point, I'm dead clueless. My friends come out. My friend's got a bowl. They're waiting. And I'm like, all right. And I'm ready. And I open it over the bowl. And then push. The first thing I saw was a mushroom cloud of smoke burst from within the bag. The second thing was within the depths of the bag. I was at what I can only describe as lava popcorn. As in, it was black and also glowing orange. Because it was molten. So I obviously had to throw it out. And because my brain was clearly very smooth that day, I was like, oh shit, we really need to toss it out. Someone quick, get me a plastic bag. So my friend gets me a plastic bag, and I proceed to pour out the black and orange glowing molten popcorn into the plastic bag that immediately begins to melt. So I get my friend to go grab me a second plastic bag, of which we put the melting plastic bag into the second one. That immediately begins to melt. So then I go to my friend in a panic, get another plastic bag. So then they get another plastic bag. And then we put the double melting plastic bag into the third one. And this third bag begins to melt. And at this point, my friend with the brain cell has come out of my room and is like, AITA, what the fuck are you doing? That's a plastic bag. It's melting. You need to put it in the bin. And so I'm like, oh shit, yeah, good choice. So we kind of run out of the house all the way to the front yard, and I kind of slam dunk it into the roadside bin, of which it creates another mushroom cloud upon impact. Needless to say, those friends never let me back in the kitchen. And I am a better chef than the lady who cooked a fucking plastic cutting board. Obviously, that was the truncated version without all of the theatrics. But, yeah, TLDR, I don't exactly have a history of being a god-tier chef. Funny thing is, I'm actually kind of craving popcorn now. No, it's just a random book. I usually crack out the book at tea time. Though once I debut, I'll actually have a cup of tea I'll be able to crack out instead. Oh my god. Look, I fall asleep one time while cooking a 𝐄𝐍𝐕 and it turns to char, okay? Look, I was tired and I needed naps. And that was within the last 6 months. Anyway, wait. But yes, the sausages were a while ago. I used to make gay sausages. Alright, let's see. Ooh. Perfecto. Alrighty. But yes, I think think this is a good spot to end it for tonight, honestly. I'm starting to get a bit drowsy. It's 11 PM and I need to get up gross and early. Look, I'm a night owl, okay? 7:30 AM doesn't have my name on it. But yes. Thank you guys so much for joining me for my little stream tonight. I've had a fantastic time hanging out with each and every one of you. Thanks for those wonderful new folks who've come in and followed tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for those who came over from Twitter specifically as well. Because for some reason my silly little debut announcement post is making the rounds, which is really cool. And also, I really wasn't expecting that. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm still getting notified. That's freaking wild. I cannot believe. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, my brain is starting to shut down, and so like, you ever do that thing where you're talking, and then like your brain just stops and has like a nap on you mid-sentence, so you're just saying like, and then I was going to the... Sorry, my brain had a nap. What was I talking about? It's one of those moments. Oh my god. But yes, thank you guys so much for joining for my stream tonight. You talking... Gross tears like mine's from... like mine's are alike, bro. Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I found an artist to raid. High five, smooth brain, let's do this! Alright, so I'll pop up the stream ending. Alright. Yes, thank you for joining me tonight. I've had a brilliant time hanging out with each and every one of you. Absolutely fantastic and amazing people. To the wonderful new people who joined me for the first time tonight, welcome. Thank you for the follows and for joining me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my chaotic little content. And for those as well who joined me over on Twitter, welcome. I do, yeah. For those curious as well, I will officially be debuting my 2.0 model at 8 PM AEST, July 6th. So that's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So I look forward to finally debuting that thing that spent me 8 months. But yes, so my next stream is tomorrow night, 8 PM AEST. And I'm going to be doing an art stream and working on 𝐄𝐍𝐕𝐓𝐮𝐞𝐫. So we'll be mostly working on lineup. So yeah, I will see you guys then, hopefully. Have a great night, day, etc. And yeah, hugs and kisses. And now it's time for me to become a fish. Mwah! Night night, guys! And rating in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye!